Next on Fox Sports Saturday at the races, a champion filly returns as Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies winner Jaywalk makes her 3-year-old debut at Gulfstream. His debut had the horse racing world in awe. Can Hidden Scroll now ride a path to the Kentucky Derby with a win in the Fountain of Youth? At Oaklawn Park, 4-year-old filly Amy's Challenge is out to prove her stakes win last out was for real in a rematch with the favorite she left in her wake. And it's the inaugural running of a race named after the Preakness winner and champion 3-year-old of 2006, who will shine in the Bernardini from Aqueduct. Fox Sports Saturday at the races is brought to you in part by America's Best Racing. For the love of the race, visit americasbestracing.net today. Welcome to Fox Sports Saturday at the races on Fox Sports 2. Great to be with you on another tremendous Saturday of action where each and every Saturday we bring you the best racing from all across the country, including horse racing's Glamour division as we gear up with qualifying races to the Kentucky Derby and the Kentucky Oaks. Greg Wolf alongside the Hall of Famer, Gary Stevens, 4-time Major League All-Star, Paul LaDuca. We're going to see the reigning 2-year-old champion filly Jaywalk make her 3-year-old debut this afternoon. And a horse who went from relative unknown to the it horse in the Derby discussion in Hidden Scroll in the Fountain of Youth.
I had no idea who he was when I started watching the race, and I looked it up shortly thereafter. Billy Mott, very conservative trainer, and what we saw him do, as difficult of task can be when you've got a first-time starter going a 1-turn mile, first time out of the one hole in the slop, and what he did is destroyed a pretty good field.
Yeah, he did everything so professionally. He broke like a bullet. I love how Joel Rosario, the rider here, just asked him a little bit in the middle of the lane, hey, buddy, let's keep it going here. We're going to have to go a little bit farther and face a little bit tougher competition next time. Then he eases up on him because he knows, hey, we got to go a little farther.
The thing that astounded me the most, he looked like he was in super slow motion going around the turn. He was widening on the field there, and then Joel gigged him a little bit at the 8th pole, said, that's enough, big boy.
Hall of Fame trainer Bill Mott, usually an extremely patient trainer. He said this is not normal for us, but he said this horse ran so good, so big, he left us no choice, really.
Yeah, and you know what you have to watch out for a lot of time when you've got a horse that breaks his maiden that impressive first time out, is that they bounce off of that. They go wild in their mind, and it takes a while to settle them down. He said that wasn't the case with this colt. Came out of it with a very relaxed peace of mind.
Meanwhile, we have a champ returning as well. The reigning 2-year-old champion filly Jaywalk makes her return. Same connections that won the Kentucky Oaks with Catherine Sophia back in 2016.
Shortening back up to a 1-turn mile off the layoff, not a problem. She broke her maiden going 5 furlongs, so I don't see an issue today. One hole, not perfect for her, though.
No, not perfect, but she's the one that's going to have her target on her back because she's the champion, and she was by far the 2-year-old champion.
Let's take a look at the weather conditions for the tracks we'll be covering this afternoon. In Gulfstream Park, sunny, beautiful, 82 degrees, and that is where we will have the Davona Dale with Jaywalk making her return and Hidden Scroll in the Fountain of Youth. In Ozone Park, New York, 39 degrees, a little snow on the ground there. We'll have the Bernardini a little bit later on. And out in Hot Springs, Arkansas, the top 3-year-old spinners from last year, Mottola making his return as well. He was going to be headed to the Woody Stevens before he was sidelined. 51 degrees and cloudy. He'll make his return in the 7th race on the card later today at Oaklawn. Today's race schedule brought to you in part by WinStar Farm, the farm that pays you back. Oaklawn, Aqueduct, and Gulfstream. I want to remind everyone as well to get signed up, started with Naira Bets. New members earn a $200 bonus. Enter the promo code LIVE at sign up. Bet 200, you'll get 200 to bet any track, anywhere, anytime. So there's Aqueduct races 5 through 9. Stakes action from Gulfstream with a Kentucky Oaks and Kentucky Derby prep. Qualifying points to get into the starting gate for that first Saturday in May. And a couple of great sprint races coming up out in Hot Springs, Arkansas, which is where we take you right now as we check in with Nancy Holthus.
Nancy Holthus here bringing you the action from Oaklawn Park in Hot Springs, Arkansas. The feature today is the 31st running of the Spring Fever featuring Amy's Challenge as she is looking for back-to-back stakes wins. Also, the return of the speedy Mottola from the barn of Steve Asmussen. Could be a launching prep for the Grade 3 Count Fleet Sprint later in the season. Andy, what's going on at the Big A?
I'm looking towards the entire show today. I think this is the most exciting show we've had As Nancy and the guys mentioned, Mottola is returning at Oaklawn Park. He may have been the best sprinter in the country before he was sidelined last year, early in May. The Fountain of Youth is a great race. I mean, obviously, Hidden Scroll has to pass the test. Whether or not he can run the same kind of race on a fast track, going 2 turns against tougher competition. And make no mistake, there are as many as 5 or 6 legitimate Kentucky Derby contenders in the Fountain of Youth. But Hidden Scroll, the kind of horse that can get a lot of attention, cannot wait to see what he does in a fast track in the Fountain of Youth. Jaywalk is running, and I'm excited. We got 5 races from Aqueduct today. And Aqueduct, of course, my track, so happy to be here. Now, we had a lot of snow last night, an amazing job by the track maintenance crew getting this track. I mean, look at the kind of shape we're in. We have a fast track. It's labeled fast. There's no moisture, 4+ inches of snow. But it's been a deep track. The times are slow. You're going to see some very slow times. It's not the horses, it's the track. The horse that I like is the 8th race, Leotoni. Now, I'm not thrilled with him drawing the inside, and he is a horse that's going to be forwardly placed. I liked him a little more than the track wasn't so tiring. But I think he's a horse that improved tremendously on a trainer switch to George Weaver, and I think he has a chance, perhaps, to upset the favorite Weather Whiz. Weather Whiz is going to be the one to beat in the Bernardini, but Leotoni looks like a possible upsetter to me in a race named for horse Bernardini, who used a race at Aqueduct as his prep for his Preakness win as we head back to Paul.
Thanks, Andy. And before the prelude, actually before the Fountain of Youth, is the Honey Fox, and before we see Jaywalk as well. And I like Precious on the inside for Chad Brown. Now, I'm not giving you anything special here. Javier Castellano at 7-2. But this is a mare that really dug in late against her own stablemate in Uni late. She sort of idled a little bit when she got to the front end, and then she dug in. I think Chad has figured that out. That was off a long layoff, too, and now second time in Chad's Brown. I think she's going to be a handful in the Honey Fox, and you might get a decent price.
Yeah, that was a big performance. We'll see. She's been very good on turf courses that have a little bit of give in the ground, but she has handled firm term courses in the past as well. As we go to New York, race 5 at Aqueduct. 6 furlong sprint for horses who have not won 3 lifetime. 2-horse A Scratch, who was one of the contenders in this race. Courageous Queen, the morning line favorite. The 5 for Todd Pletcher, current 2-to-1 favorite.
Yeah, and, you know, listen, this is a horse that keeps dropping and dropping, and when do you want to stop, you know, betting in? She's the favorite again.
Here's our post-parade. Rajiv Barrage on board American Mission as we head to the 3 here. Salty Smile for John Toscano Jr.
Second time in John's Barn. This is a reclaim. Used to be in John's Barn.
Speed Khaleesi has speed, comes off a 4th place effort in the mud.
You're right. That is her weapon, and she's going to try to use it early. She does have a win in 2 seconds at Aqueduct.
Courageous Queen, the current favorite. She's got speed as well, and she's got a speed rider in Kendrick Carmouche.
Again, is she a bad favorite? She's been a bad favorite about 4 times before.
Moment of Triumph, the 6 will cut back in distance. Carlos Hernandez aboard.
Yeah, 2 for 28 lifetime, but she's run a couple good races at Aqueduct.
Charlie Baker sends out Jump for Joy. Last couple of starts, she's caught muddy racetracks.
Yeah, she's the most consistent mare in here. The problem is she likes to be the bridesmaid. 6 seconds in 12 starts.
And 5-2 on Too Hot Betty on the outside, who was a winner off a year's layoff in a non-winners at 2 competition.
Yeah, this was where I landed. You know, I just think she found her friends last time. Now, I know she jumps up and to the non-winners at 3, but I think she can come right back.
Racing's best play, the Naira Bets Late Pick 5, exclusively available online at NairaBets.com and on track in New York every day of Naira Racing, including the Saratoga meet. Today's sequence starts in this race coming up, the 5th at Aqueduct with a 50-cent minimum and low 15% takeout. Go to NairaBets.com to place your bet. Paula Duca has already placed his.
Yeah, don't go too crazy with the cost of this Naira Late Pick 5. I think you can get a tiny bit of value, but not much. 3-5-7, 8 to start it off, then 3-5-7, 9. Let's get to the Bernardini race number 8, and that is going to be Weather Whiz. Even money on the morning line. Royal Albert Hall is 6 in there, is 5-2. He's an old turf horse out here that has 10 seconds. It's 2 for 40. Lifetime is your second choice in there. And then in the last race, I thought Planet Trailblazer, and it was the horse to beat in there, and I used a couple others. $32. That's it for 50 cents.
Now, Paula Duca using 4 horses in the first leg of this Naira Bets Late Pick 5. Andy Serling, your thoughts here on the 5th?
Well, I think you have to look at it in a couple of ways, guys. You know, it's how'd you handicap it before you watch the racetrack, and how would the racetrack affect your playing? To me, the horse to beat is Jump for Joy, the number 7, who's second off a layoff. I don't like Courageous Queen. I don't like the speed of Speedy Khaleesi. Courageous Queen could win, but I'm not enamored with her. Thought Jump for Joy ran very well. This is her return race on February 7th. She was coming off over a 7-month layoff. She drifted in the stretch, so while she was in front, she was never on the inside, and the rail was very much the place to be on February 7th. And you see the winner, a 25-to-1 shot, getting a great ride from Eric Cancel, never leaving the fence, and just beating her a bob. Thought she ran very well, and she can stalk the pace of Speed Khaleesi and Courageous Queen and be effective. I think of those horses, she is the most likely winner. I'm not a big fan of Courageous Queen. It's great to see Kendrick Carmouche back. Of course, he was injured back Kentucky Downs in September. Many of you probably saw that on our Belmont Live show. He came back last Sunday, and it didn't take him long to get to the winner's circle. Kendrick's back, but he's aggressive. He's going to attack Speed Khaleesi. I think he's going to have trouble taking that one over, then dealing with Jump for Joy coming at him. And the question is whether or not they can hold the closers off of that. Perhaps the 3 Salty Smile is a long shot with a chance to make a run towards the end, but the dangerous closer in here is the number 8, Too Hot Betty. Too Hot Betty has not been seen for 2.5 months since coming from Wellback to win last time against a weaker field. I don't like her in this race other than the circumstance of how the racetrack is playing. And it's kind of odd with turf season just around the corner that a horse that can run better on the turf than the dirt, trainer would allow her to run as cheaply as she's running today. But she is the closer you have to be scared of in this race. I think the likeliest winner is Jump for Joy, but the 8, Too Hot Betty. The racetrack may help her, guys.
Yeah, Too Hot Betty, who's in our screen right now, she does have ability to take on a lot better and be competitive on turf, as Andy mentioned. But would you guys agree the best in terms of the closers in this field?
Probably the best of the closers, but I think the horse is going to get the perfect trip. If I was picking a horse after the draw going into the gate right now, it'd be Jump for Joy. I can see Speed Khaleesi, the 4, and the 5, Courageous Queen, hooking up early on. Jump for Joy is going to get first run on the bottom horse, Too Hot Betty.
Yeah, listen, it's a tough call. Too Hot Betty might get claimed out of this, and somebody might take her back to the turf course. But listen, there's been some issues there, and she won at this level. Why go up for the bump?
Could be a hot pace up front, including the favorite, the 5, Courageous Queen. John Imbriel with the call. You're watching Fox Sports Saturday at the races. Here's race 5 from Aqueduct.
And they're off. From mid-pack, it's Speed Khaleesi. Courageous Queen is right there. And down towards the inside, Salty Smile moves up. As they race up the backstretch, it's Speed Khaleesi showing the most early speed here and in front. Jump for Joy is on the extreme outside. Then it's Salty Smile. American Mission down at the rail. Courageous Queen's in between horses. Then it's Too Hot Betty, who's racing in 6th. And Moment of Triumph is the trailer in 7th, the opening quarter mile in 23 and 3/5 seconds. Long shot Speed Khaleesi leads here by a length. Jump for Joy runs in 2nd, and then it's American Mission down at the rail. Alongside is Courageous Queen. Too Hot Betty begins to pick it up now on the extreme outside. Then Salty Smile and Moment of Triumph as the field comes for the quarter pole. Still Speed Khaleesi, the one to catch. American Mission down at the rail, but on the outside, here come Jump for Joy and Too Hot Betty. And then it's Courageous Queen, Jump for Joy, and Too Hot Betty. It's between those two as they come down for the 16th pole. Jump for Joy with the lead. Too Hot Betty all out in 2nd. It's Jump for Joy, then Too Hot Betty, Jump for Joy, and apprentice Raylu Gutierrez. Too Hot Betty was 2nd. Photo for 3rd between Courageous Queen and Salty Smile.
Jump for Joy, 2nd off a lengthy layoff. Raylu Gutierrez, for Charlie Baker getting the win here. The 6-year-old mare, 3rd win of her career.
Hey, and look, Kendrick Carmouche, he can read a racing form. I mean, he reached and took a hold of Courageous Queen immediately leaving the starting gate. I mean, he didn't want to get hooked up. It didn't work what he did. She made a little bit of a late rally, but Jump for Joy set the perfect trip. And 8-horse, Too Hot for Betty, got a little hang in her.
Yeah, no excuse. No excuse for Too Hot for Betty. Good pick by Andy. I was his 2nd best here. Had every chance going by. But I think, you know, the 7 finally was able to open up some lengths in the stretch. She's always in a battle and finally was able to get away. And she has that 2nditis, but not today. She showed some grit.
Yeah, I think it's a very interestingly ridden race, and Gary touched on it with the way Kendrick Carmouche rode Courageous Queen. I think all the riders were very concerned with A, being outside and not getting caught up in the pace. And in a funny way, it put Raylu Gutierrez, who is a very, very promising apprentice, who's having a terrific winter here, it put him in a toughest spot because he had the attacker with Jump for Joy, and he didn't want to move too soon. Now, Dylan Davis sensed this with the 8-2 Hot Betty, so he actually moved earlier than he might have in the slow-paced race and got up there. But Raylu gets caught between horses, not always the easiest spot to be in, and he didn't move too soon. I think he moved at exactly the right time for Jump for Joy, and that's why he was able to hold off 2 Hot Betty, who in a funny way, even though she was with the track, she had to overcome the way the race was run. Excellent race riding by a lot of players in here, but a great job by Raylu Gutierrez.
And even with a scratcher, one of the main contenders floats up in price a little bit. You get 7-2. It was 3-1 on the morning line. Jump for Joy, the win, 7-8-5 finish. Still to come, could Code of Honor bring Hall of Fame trainer Shug McGaughey a second Kentucky Derby win? Shug talks why today expectations are sky high in the Fountain of Youth.
I was hoping when we entered this horse in the sale that I would come up here and be in My Name's Happy and have the first run happy that hit it out of the park. We're ecstatic about it.
He's just a natural athlete. He's got length. He's got good substance to him. He's very correct. He's got a very free, effortless walk. Very intelligent, good mind. This is the horse we brought here to make a sound.
Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit NairaBets.com. Sign up now for a $200 new member bonus with promo code LIVE at NairaBets.com.
This successful son of AP Indy has sired 6 millionaires, including 2017 Eclipse champion 3-year-old West Coast. A dominant winner of the Grade 1 Travers and Pennsylvania Derby, West Coast also placed in the Breeders' Cup Classic and was runner-up in the $16 million Pegasus World Cup. In the sales ring, juveniles by Flatter brought up to $600,000, and his yearlings sold up to $460,000. Flatter, standing at Claiborne Farm.
We are back on Fox Sports Saturday at the races on Fox Sports 2. It's brought to you in part by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual unusually well.
Orb runs by Violence. Orb has taken the lead, and Orb on the outside has won. Orb is coming with giant strides in the center of the track, and here comes Orb on the outside now to take the lead as they come down to the 16th pole. It is Orb in front from Normandy Invasion, My Loot, and Golden Soul between horses down to the wire. Orb has won the Kentucky Derby.
Gary, you were in that Kentucky Derby. You'd get your revenge in the Preakness on Oxbow. Did you notice Orb making that big move?
Yeah, I was running on empty as we entered the stretch, and Oxbow, he was still digging in, giving me what he had, but I did see Orb out in the middle of the racetrack, and very patient ride from Joel Rosario, circled the field, and it was fun to come back and watch the replay.
Very popular win for Shug McGaughey and the Phipps family. America's Best Racing wants to know where you think this year's Kentucky Derby winner will come from, the East Coast, the West Coast, or somewhere in between. What do you guys think?
West Coast.
Right now, we'll see after today and tomorrow, but right now, in between, War of Will.
Really? War of Will, been sensational. Risen Star winner for Mark Cassidy. They call him Wow in the barn. He has been absolutely sensational. Well, a horse who is getting a lot of attention early on. So we take a look at the field for the Express Bet Fountain of Youth. Code of Honor off the rail for Shug McGaughey. John Velasquez will be aboard. He's 6-1 on the morning line. Won his debut, and then he had a troubled trip in a second-place finish in the Grade 1 Champagne, and Shug says he takes the blame for his defeat in his 3-year-old return to the races.
You know, it was probably my fault that he wasn't where he was, but he was doing so well leading up to the Breeders' Cup, and I think he would have been a really, really big factor in that race. Then he got sick. And maybe, you know, maybe he hadn't kicked it yet. And then when I didn't show any signs of it, but he wasn't a real big framed horse, so I was always afraid to really train him too hard. But after he ran here 1st of January, I said, you know, you're going to have to get into him. And he's taken it. He's trained really well. You know, I think he looks good now for him. And, you know, it was a matter of, well, you're either going to train him, take it, or you're going to have to back off of him. And so far, we've been able to go forward with him.
Well, he was 4-5, beaten favorite in that return to the races, the Mucho Macho Man, but it sounds like Shug is confident today.
Yeah, and Shug, he was quoted this morning in Thoroughbred Daily News as saying that since he's cranked it up a notch on this horse, he's actually got more aggressive at the barn and in his stall. So I like hearing those words.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the guy's been there before, obviously. We just saw Orb, and he's trained horses like this. And when Shug, sometimes when he backs off of horses, it's usually a very, very good thing because he's better, to me, when those horses have time. And I think this horse is going to run a big race today. But drawing the 1 hole, he's sort of a deep closer. And Gulfstream Park's not a racetrack that is conducive to horses like him. So he might be a horse to me that's maybe can round out the Tri or the Super, but I'm not a big fan of this horse winning the race.
Running style is going to be interesting. He actually went gate to wire sprinting in his debut. He's had some troubles out of the gate, though.
That's the problem, yeah.
These next 2 starts. So is that something that can be solved
Look,
today? We'll wait and see.
I think he's drawn great down on the inside. There's plenty of speed in the race today. He can save ground around the first turn and come with his run late.
Back at Aqueduct, it was Jump for Joy, 7-2. The apprentice, Raylu Gutierrez for Charlie Baker. And the 6-year-old mare wins for the 3rd time in 13 starts.
This is a daughter of Jump, start out of the Kitten Joy's mare, Raise the Kitty, a PA bred. Congratulations. Andy said it, man. Raylu Gutierrez is a polished young rider that's got a nice future. And if you had some of that early pick 5 before you joined us on Fox, you're $3,000 richer.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan of this kid. I haven't watched him a lot, but this is where the Ortiz brothers made their name during the wintertime at Aqueduct, and he's getting his chance to shine right now. Get involved with the Showdown. See how your handicapping stacks up against other fans. Free online game following the racing on our program today. Head to NYRA.com/showdown, and real prizes are on the line, like NYRA Bets points and a grand prize to the 2019 Belmont Stakes, a ticket package. Visit NYRA.com/showdown to get involved. Race 6 in New York. It kicks off the late pick 4. New York Breds, $30,000 maiden claiming race. It is 5.5 furlongs. And Mama's Funky Baby done nothing wrong so far. First-time starter for David Donk.
Process of elimination. That's what's going on here. You have Roses of Dublin in this race, who is 8-5. On the morning line, and the highest buyer figure that she's run is 47, so the public's going to a horse that's never run.
Yeah, I mean, the distances that some of these horses have been beating their last outs, that's the way to go, is go with the first-timer.
We're going to take a break. Trainer John Service says Jaywalk's cruising speed is wicked, and she proved that was true in her Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies win. The 2-year-old champ returns next.
It's America's original sport, and no one covers it better than americasbestracing.net. From the sport to the lifestyle. The best races, horses, and destination venues, cocktails, gambling, fashion, and more. americasbestracing.net is a sport for you. Live it, love it, bet it.
This one is by Tappet and is a brilliant Grade 1 winner.
Elliott, of course you're talking about Constitution. He was a TD and Rising Star in his debut. He became an undefeated Grade 1 winner when he won the Florida Derby in his 3rd start. And in the Don Handicap as a 4-year-old, he ran a 111 Beyer speed figure, which is still the fastest Tappet around 2 turns.
And don't forget about his allowance race. When he beat Wicked Strong and Tunnelist, his first 2-year-olds have every right to be fast.
Mr. Big, Dynaformer's leading sire in California, whose progeny have consistently achieved success early in their careers, like Big Break.
Big Break opening up 5, 6, 7, can win it by as many as she likes in the end.
Big Score.
Here's Big Score with giant strides late. Big Score, an excellent W.
And Big Book.
Big Book running on Festival. Big Book's gonna win it.
Number 2 on the cumulative lifetime active sires list, second only to Tap It. Think Big. Mr. Big, standing at Harris Farms.
You're watching Fox Sports Saturday at the races on Fox Sports 2. We're taking you down the road to the Kentucky Derby and the Kentucky Oaks. Our show brought to you in part by the champion sprinter Run Happy. Never lost in his career while sprinting, a perfect 7 for 7. Three-time Grade 1 winning millionaire, now standing in legendary stall number 1 at Claiborne Farm.
Catherine Sophia runs for the lead on the outside and takes off. Catherine Sophia is pouring it on now. She has opened up suddenly to a 5-length lead over Dearest and Lewis Bay. Oh, this is one fantastic filly. Catherine Sophia wins the Davona Dale by about 7 lengths in the end. Catherine Sophia has run away here. Catherine Sophia's got a 4-length lead as they come by the 16th pole. And Catherine Sophia will be very impressive, the winner of the Kentucky Oaks.
Well, this is how crazy this game can be. Catherine Sophia, she wasn't even supposed to be in the Kentucky Oaks. She suffered a defeat in the Ashland. John Service expressed doubts about her ability around 2 turns, was going to opt for the 8 bells at 7 furlongs in the undercard, but then Songbird wound up being declared out of the race because of a fever. They decided to take a shot, and they win the Kentucky Oaks. Now these connections intent on taking that same path with Jaywalk.
Well, the good thing, Service has been there before, and he knows how to do it. This was a different kind of filly, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. You know, Jaywalk could be a different kind of filly, too. You know, her last 2 wins, she's crushed the competition. And like we said before, when they start widening the margins, Gary, these horses start getting more confident and more confident. And I'm wondering if Mr. Service is taking his time with this filly because he knows what he has.
Yeah, the only thing that would worry me today is about drawing the 1 hole with her and rushing her off of her feet. There is some other speed in the race, but we're going to find out a little later.
Yeah. She's trying to win her 5th straight at a 5th different racetrack. Here's trainer John Service with more.
There's very little similarities other than they're both very fast. They look nothing alike. They act nothing alike. Catherine was a very difficult horse to handle, where Jaywalk's very laid back, very professional, you know, likes what she does. You know, as far as the Oaks, you know, we're going to use this as the first stepping stone to get there, and hopefully, you know, we'll build up to the Oaks and peak on Oaks Day. She settled in very nicely, and she's put on a little weight when she was out there, and she seems to be anxious to get back to the races. I don't like the 1 post at any time. But listen, that's a draw you get, and we're going to have to deal with it. I think she's good enough so she can handle it with no problem.
Well, John Service said, yeah, Jaywalk's very sweet, kind, laid-back kind of filly, whereas Catherine Sophia back in her day, he called her a nasty son of a gun.
You know what, and what I like about this is she doesn't have to improve a whole lot from her 2-year-old year to beat these fillies today. I mean, she can actually just stay the way she was and work to improve off of today's win to move forward. But she doesn't need to improve a whole lot to go on and win the Oaks.
Speed, inside post, might not be a bad thing. We'll see. No. Grade 2, Davona Dale, the return of the 2-year-old champion, filly Jaywalk, coming up. We're going to head out to Oaklawn right now. 4th race is coming up. Let's go to Nancy Holthus.
Guys, I want to take a closer look at the part of the entry that does remain. That's the 1A Shut the Box coming from the barn of Robertino Diodoro. He teamed up, went to the winner's circle 4 times yesterday. 3 of those were for today's connections, M&M Racing, and did have David Cohen in the irons. This horse actually debuts for the barn. He bats about 24% when doing so. I like the fact that he stretches this horse out as he is 4 of 5 in the money. He comes off a 5th place effort down at Delta Downs. Those turns are much tighter than they are here at Oaklawn. He's got a lot of back class, and he has raced here at Oaklawn before. He gave a very solid performance, and also he Jay had a very solid effort last time at this condition, 2 starts back, where he ran second for 40 at Churchill Downs. So I think this horse is going to improve not only on the stretch out, but as he does debut for the Deodoro Barn. He had an amazing meet, and we'll see how Shut the Box does fare for this race today, and I do see him being more forwardly placed with that added distance. Chris Richard also ships up and sends out Exemplar, who comes off a very sharp second for 30,000. Not a huge step up, but I think that this horse is going to give another big effort today. Loves the distance. In the money, 13 of 17, and he did break post parade when warming up, making sure that he is ready to go before going in the gate. Greg?
Nancy, thanks. And there is the 7 Exemplar who she was just talking about. I actually like that effort from him last start. He chased a horse who was all alone on the lead in Secret House, had to go 6 wide and made up a lot of ground.
Giant effort. It really was. These kind of horses, they need pace. He runs his races upside down, and you know, he's going to have to save ground. What's very interesting is Ramon Vasquez gets on top of him. It's his first time in a while. Somebody's rode him twice in a row. He's had a bunch of different pilots, but he's going to need pace, but he'll be running late.
I'll tell you one of the things that stuck out to me handicapping this race last night was the 2-horse Summer Revolution trained by Brad Cox. Brad's starting off a little icy cold there. I mean, his horses are running well, but he's only hitting at 11% right now. And Ricardo Santana, he didn't ride hardly any for Brad Cox last year. He wasn't one of his go-to guys. He only rode 2 times for him during the whole meet. He's ridden 9 races for him. And that combination's hitting at 33% right now, and he's getting plenty of action right now at 5-2.
Well, you look back at this horse's PPs. This horse was 4 lengths behind Dreyfrong in the King's Bishop. Now,
Grade 1.
Now, yeah. I know that's a long time ago, but this son of Summer Bird gets back to half of that race, he's going to be a handful.
Here's the big question mark, though. We're talking about the 2, Summer Revolution. He is going to have the rail in this race, too. We haven't seen him race in 13 months, so a long layoff. He has won off a layoff before, but how big of a concern is that?
Well, it's Brad Cox. I mean, I would have a concern riding for him. I'd go in with confidence, look at his back class. The one thing that sticks out to me, though, the one time that he went 2 turns, it was a disaster. It was actually a 1-turn mile at Aqueduct, and it wasn't a real good effort there, but it was a cigar mile, too.
You know, sometimes these type of horses, Greg, when they drop, and they've been like in these grade 1s before, they usually geld them. They have not gelded this horse, so you know he might be a good actor. He might fire a big shot, and the money showed up, like Gary's saying, at the window.
Not a ton of pace in this race. That makes the 8 DeRapper a little bit interesting in this spot, stretching out from 6 furlongs. He's faced some good ones sprinting. Can he handle the mile? He's won 11 of 22 career starts. We'll see if he can handle this competition. Summer Revolution from the rail, the 2, coming in off a 13-month layoff. That's the favorite, Vic Stauffer with the call, the 4th from Oaklawn Park in Hot Springs, Arkansas.
They're at the post. They're off. Pickin' and Grinnin' and DeRapper shows speed. Glad to be here in Summer Revolution. Now Pickin' and Grinnin' is taken in hand, and he'll drop back to mid-pack. So Summer Revolution and Glad to be here are 1-2. DeRapper's outside of Pickin' and Grinnin'. Feudal's at the rail. Get the Box and Exemplar are next, then Hollywood Critic, and the early trailer is Discreetness. To the backstretch with Summer Revolution just in front of Glad to be here. Summer Revolution a neck in front. Glad to be here is second by a length and a half to DeRapper and Pickin' and Grinnin'. They're right together, and Pickin' and Grinnin' is still headstrong. Wants to go. He's mid-pack now and 2 from the front. Feudal joins him from the inside. Then Get the Box. Exemplar has been guided to the center of the racetrack. Here's Exemplar moving up a couple of spots and 2.5 off the lead. Hollywood Critic is next, and the trailer is still Discreetness. They're at the half-mile pole. The finish line is the 16th pole, and they go into the far turn. Glad to be here, and Summer Revolution, and Glad to be here is half ahead in front. DeRapper is after the front runners, and here he comes. DeRapper has moved up into a joint with the leaders. Then comes Exemplar. He's moved up into 4th, and a length from the front. Exemplar's got a chance. Then comes Feudal and Shut the Box. New leader, top of the stretch, DeRapper. DeRapper is now a length in front. Exemplar is running up outside of the front runners. He'll take a second. Hollywood Critic looks for a way through. Final 16th. DeRapper leads. Exemplar second. Discreetness and Shut the Box also have chances. It is DeRapper, Exemplar, and Shut the Box. DeRapper clear. Exemplar second. It is DeRapper. DeRapper won by just over a length. Very close for second between Exemplar and Shut the Box. Hollywood Critic finished 4th.
Well, not the way I thought he'd do it. This horse just loves to find the winner's circle. Now 12 wins from 23 starts. Actually set off the pace a little bit here.
He actually had a perfect trip. The two-horse Summer Revolution extremely fresh off of that layoff. He had a 59 work coming into this race and just going too fast early on. Fernando de la Cruz sitting back there on DeRapper. The old horse that likes to win races, now 12 for 23.
It's a win machine, DeRapper, for trainer Mark Crystal. This horse claimed couple starts back. Just loves to find that winner's circle. We'll have the prices from the 4th at Oaklawn coming up. I want to remind everyone as well, Naira Bets members can now participate online in a big money handicapping challenge hosted at Naira Tracks. Registration now for the Gotham Challenge will happen on March 9th with an estimated $18,000 up for grabs in prize money. See rules and sign up at naira.com/challenge. And we have a huge weekend on the road to the Kentucky Derby next week. 4 Derby preps. One of them, of course, is the Gotham from out in New York. And Instagram for Hall of Famer Jerry Hollendorfer is actually going to make the trip back east.
He had a nice workout the other morning. I saw him coming through the stretch. Javier Castellano came out to work him. He finished up very strong the last quarter of a mile. The track was a little bit deep on Monday when he did breeze, but it was a good workout, and he looked fit and healthy going into the Gotham.
Don't you love those big white blazes? Always has my heart, but guy with good-looking horse. And listen, he's on shutdown mode right here. He's just a little maintenance move right now. The Dorf, when he ships him, he doesn't ship him that often, but he's pretty darn good. And I think he's going to make a good account of himself.
Well, usually when you're in a Derby prep, you're going to be facing a Baffert runner, and that's going to be the case for Instagram. Even shipping out east, he's going to face much better for Baffert. Nick's Go, Breeders' Futurity winner, who was 5th in the Sam F. Davis, should line up in that one as well. And, of course, all eyes on the San Felipe. 2 undefeated Baffert runners, game winner and Improbable, going head-to-head at Santa Anita.
Yeah, and last year's 2-year-old champion and Improbable, I've been watching him. I mean, he catches your eye when he comes by in the morning. He's just one of those horses that sticks out. And I know Bob doesn't want to have to be running against each other,
Right.
against his own horses right now. He'd rather wait for the Derby, but he's going to get them tested this weekend coming up.
Kentucky Derby points leaderboard. War of Will, that Marcassi runner at top of the list. But you see Signal Man in there as well. We're going to see him in the Fountain of Youth for trainer Kenny McPeak. Kenny says we haven't really hammered totally down on him because he already has 18 points for the Kentucky Derby. They want him to really peak in May.
He said he's got 18 points and he's got a lot of experience too. You see him fighting his way through a tight hole there coming into the stretch. That's his home track, is Churchill Downs. That's where the Derby's run at. He's a hard knocker. I mean, he shows up every single time. He's been battle tested, and that's a big advantage going into the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, and he's got a win at that racetrack at Churchill Downs. And I like the way he did it that day. Another horse that runs the races upside down, too. He comes from way out of it.
McPeak says reminds him a little bit of Tejano Run, who was the runner-up in the 1995 Kentucky Derby. Diamond in the rough that he found in that 1993 Keeneland September yearling sale. Another one, Signal Man, that perhaps slipped through the cracks as we take you back to New York post-parade for race 6. And here is Match Check Ride. 20-1 morning line down to 10-1.
Yeah, and I don't get it. 10-1 last time out and lost by 48.5 lengths. I don't know if that's going to be turned around.
Scratch the 2. Here's the 3 Ladybird for Dermot Magner.
You know, this horse got bet last time to 2-1 at this level, but had a brutal beginning. Both starts have been bad beginnings.
Thinking of Glenn was 97-1 in her debut, and she ran to those odds.
Yeah, just showing you how sound or not good this field is actually at 97-1 that she's 19-1 today.
Early on, this first-time starter was the favorite for David Donk, right now 7-2 on Mama's Funky Baby.
Yeah, daughter of Austin Patriot, debuts with Lasix, and I think by process elimination, that's why the public slandered her as second choice.
Charming Cara, the 6 for Mitchell Friedman.
59-1 last time, lost by 20 lengths, can't see it at 10-1.
And Rosa Dublin was the 8-5 morning line favorite for Jimmy Ryerson.
Is she vulnerable? Her highest buyer is 47, and she's your favorite.
Margie Cat was 20-1 morning line for Gary Siaka.
She's lost her last 2 races by a combined 60 lengths, and she's 15-1.
And Street Chamber, she had a tough go first time out, but that was against better company.
Yeah, it was. And she gets blinkers. You know, she could be the live one at 9-2.
Race 6 kicks off the late pick 4 at Aqueduct. We'll have it for you live when we come back on Fox Sports Saturday at the races.
This graded stakes winner and multiple Grade 1 performer by Tapit has become one of the nation's leading sires of 2-year-olds. Ranked number 1 in his crop by number of winners, he sired 11 stakes horses in 2017, including graded stakes winners Wild Shot and Oklahoma Derby winner Untrapped. At the sales, his yearlings have sold up to $480,000. Trap Shot, standing at Claiborne Farm.
One of the things I like about Run Happy is he's one of the more athletic sires that I've seen. He's clearly passing that on through his offspring. He's really sampling the foals, and they're starting to look a lot like him.
Well, this horse comes from a great sire who was just so talented, and we've wanted to buy one ever since we started looking in November.
16.5, market bank $250,000.
And then you add a sire like Run Happy, and then you put a physical on the ground like that baby, and you know, for us, it's a must-have.
Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Welcome back to Fox Sports Saturday at the races. A lot of great action coming up. Andy Serling in the studio here at Aqueduct in our 6th race, which starts at pick 4 here. An interesting race, and I think you have to start the conversation with the 7 Rosa Dublin. Now, Rosa Dublin ran a race 2 races back where she had a 47 buyer figure and lost by a length and a half, but on the surface of things really does make her the horse to beat. And I'm not denying that she is probably in some ways the horse to beat. The problem is that this was a race that featured a supersonic pace that completely fell apart in the late stages, and it makes her performance look much better than it is because she was closing from way, way back when the race was falling apart. And I think you can really see that with the 3 Ladyberg, who also closed significantly into that pace to get a 41. She came back and got an absolutely easy trip in her second start and did no running whatsoever because she had a much different setup. So Rosa Dublin is a horse that may be able to win today, but her good performance was really a function of how the race was run, and it makes her look better than she is. The question is, where do you go? Well, I'm going to go to the 9 Street Chamber, who's making her 2nd career start for trainer Bruce Levine. You can see those results, by the way, from Oaklawn Park. The Rapper, $23. Congratulations if you used that long shot to kick it off at Oaklawn. But Street Chamber, as I was saying, for Bruce Levine, first start with the Bug Rider. This horse, first of all, was 3 wide for much of the running. On a day, you were best off on the inside. But I don't really know what was going on, but it just seemed like they didn't do a great job of getting her into the race. I like the number 9 here. The 2 is scratched, actually. I like the 9 Street Chamber. Street Chamber, to me, is going to be much more professional in her second start. Gets a rider change and gets blinkers on, and she has the right outside post. I think she'll be more forwardly placed. And to me, Street Chamber, the second choice right now at 7-2, is very much the other one, if you want to bet against Rosa Dublin.
And there is Rosa Dublin, the 7, who just stepped in she tends to take a little while to kind of get into gear and get going, and now she's actually shortening up, only going 5.5 furlongs.
Wow, it's a tough read. It really is. You have the 5 in here and David Donk, who's not great with his first-time sires, but they can win. I think Andy's right with the 9. The blinkers go on. The horse is dropping. Bruce Levine's pretty good on this move, and you don't have to beat much in here, Gary.
No, I mean, I don't know how to say it in a nice way, but the future of these horses, these fillies running in here is a little bleak as far as may need to find another place other than Aqueduct.
Yeah. Here's John Imbriel, race 6 from Aqueduct.
There in the gate. And they're off. Thinking of Glenn out for the early lead. On the outside is a Charming Cara. Down at the rail, it's a Matt's Check Ride. And in between horses, Mama's Funky Baby and Ladybird. Then we come back to Street Chamber and Rose of Dublin and a break of 4 to Margie Cat, who trails the field in 8th. The leader is Thinking of Glenn in front here by 1.5 lengths, almost 2 lengths. Charming Cara runs in second through a quarter in 23 3. Street Chamber on the outside is next in third. Then Ladybird down at the rail, followed by Mama's Funky Baby. Rose of Dublin is 6th, but 4 lengths from the lead. And at the back are Margie Cat and Matt's Check Ride. As they come into the lane now, it's still Thinking of Glenn with the lead. Charming Cara on the outside. Street Chamber is 3rd. Then it's Rose of Dublin, and now there's 1/8 of a mile to the finish. And it's still Thinking of Glenn trying to hang in there for another 16th. Charming Cara is 2nd. Rose of Dublin and Street Chamber. Thinking of Glenn. Here's Charming Cara. Thinking of Glenn holds on to win it by a head and pull off a huge upset. Thinking of Glenn, 37-1.
Where is that wire? 37-1 shot. It was 97-1 in her debut. Hangs on. Thinking of Glenn, the winner.
Yeah, you know, I could never have had this horse. Congratulations, connections, low-profile connections, Richard Metivier and Harry Hernandez, but this is a very, very popular win. This is a horse, Thinking of Glenn, that was named for a late trainer here, a trainer who passed away recently named Glenn DeSanto, who was just about as popular a trainer as you could possibly find, not just in New York, but maybe anywhere in this game. And it's really a wonderful racing moment to see a horse, Thinking of Glenn, named for somebody who left us that was very popular, and this horse winning. I couldn't have had him at this price, but it's a great sentimental moment.
You know, and watching this filly come home the last quarter of a mile, she's not doing it real fast, but she's giving it everything she has, trying to get to the wire first there, and just does hold on with the 6-horse Charming Cara running up on the outside. But that's what I love about the thoroughbred, is seeing how hard they try, and she gets the job done today for graduation.
No matter what the level was, when you looked at this race, the horse that was going to get in front was going to be dangerous, and she got in front enough to hold off to 6. Hopefully you had this exactus, because this is going to be a nice little payoff.
37-1 on your winner prices when we come back with more Fox Sports Saturday at the races.
Tommytown Thoroughbreds, home of California's #1 living stallion, Grayson, sire of the furiously fast Tough Sunday.
Tough Sunday in front. He's tough any and every day.
As well as S.Y. Sky.
S.Y. Sky at first asking.
And Enola Gray, a resounding victor on both turf and dirt.
Enola Gray, they would need to sprout wings to catch her.
Grayson, California's #1 living stallion, standing at Tommytown Thoroughbreds. It pays to be Cal-bred.
I was hoping when we entered this horse in the sale that I would come up here and being my name's Happy and have the first run Happy that hit it out of the park. We're ecstatic about it.
He's just a natural athlete. He's got length. He's got good substance to him. He's very correct. He's got a very free, effortless walk. Very intelligent, good mind. This is the horse we brought here to make a sound.
Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit NairaBets.com. Sign up now for a $200 new member bonus with promo code LIVE at NairaBets.com.
Carpe Diem was a serious racehorse with the physical to match. A debut main special weight winner at Saratoga, he beat the greatest stakes winner Ready for Rye, and he was named a TD and Rising Star that day.
Sean, he was brilliant at 2. I loved his race in the Breeders' Futurity. I also loved his race in the Bluegrass. When I saw him in the paddock, he looked absolutely stunning. This horse has it all: looks, brilliance, class. I can't wait to his 2-year-olds to hit the racetrack.
My grandmother once said, if you want someone to fall in love with a sport, let a horse breathe on them.
Go to visithorseCountry.com for more details on how you can visit thoroughbred stars like California Chrome, Tisnow, Pioneer of the Nile, and Triple Crown winners American Pharoah and Justify. The more than 30 locations to visit include horse farms and other equine-related attractions. VisitHorseCountry.com is dedicated to sharing the stories of Kentucky's horse country. Of course, Fox Sports Saturday at the Races, brought to you in part by America's Best Racing, the go-to site covering the sport and lifestyle. Visit americasbestracing.net today. Back in New York at Aqueduct, thinking of Glenn, as Andy mentioned, named for the late Glenn DeSanto, passed away at the age of 62. He was a veteran of the Naira circuit for over 3 decades and actually one of the pioneers in the use of the Oklahoma training track during the off-season at Saratoga Racecourse during his day.
Congratulations to the connections here. Her daughter, Soaring Empire, the Midas Eyes mare, Rapid Eyes, and 97-1 first time out. But it just shows you when a thoroughbred gets in front, they can have a lot of courage. And like Gary was saying, man, she tried her heart out to the wire.
Take a look at the Naira Bets late pick 5 follow along, close to $50,000 in the pool, and it's going to be awfully good if you are alive. $76 horse in leg 2.
Carry over.
It could be, or 1 ticket if you are alive. We're wishing you all the best. Still a long way to go, obviously, with 3 more legs to come. Race 7 in New York. 6 furlongs. It is for New York bred runners. First allowance condition. And 8-5 right now on Spring Drama for Kieran McLaughlin, who was an 8 1/4 length gate-to-wire winner in the mud last start.
This is a really tough race to gauge. Miss Hot Stones the 4 was touted all over the racetrack last year in October, and she proved that she was okay. Listen, she won 1 out of 4 races. She was right there in the money. Now she's been off since December, and you have a horse in here in Spring Drama who just broke her maiden in her 9th start. So, if the 4 is ready at all, I think she's gonna bury this 5 Spring Drama.
Get signed up, get started, play along with all the great racing we're showing you each and every Saturday and every day of the week with Naira Bets and earn a $200 bonus. When you get signed up, use the promo code LIVE, bet $200 and you'll get $200 in your account to bet over 200 tracks worldwide with Naira Bets. Going to head back to Hot Springs, Arkansas. Race 5 at Oaklawn, $16,000 claiming race. For non-winners of 3 lifetime, going to be going a mile and a 16th here in this race coming up. And Ron Moquette sending out Marika, the morning line favorite. Narrow defeat at this same condition last start.
This will be Ricardo Santana's 3rd time above Eureka, 2nd off the layoff, and Moquette, he hits at about 19%, 2nd off the layoff, like this filly is today.
Likely, that one going to need a little pace up front to set up what is typically her closing kick, although on occasion she's been forwardly placed.
She has. She can show a little bit of versatility. I don't think she really needs to be the lead at all. This is a wide open betting board, right? I mean, it's the kind of race maybe you want to throw in a 10-cent super maybe, or try to catch some prices, because there's nobody over 20-1. And your favorite's 2-1, so a very competitive field.
And you have a horse like the 10, Northern Fern, who has never been on a dirt surface before. It's been all synthetic or turf so far.
What do you do with horses like that, Garrett? Like, do you know A horse is getting on the dirt for the first time. When you warm that horse up, do you know?
You have a little bit of an idea, but I'll tell you what you do. You put him with the trainer Norman McKnight because he's become a special. Last year was his first winter at Oaklawn full-time. He brought a bunch of horses from Woodbine that were synthetic specialist and turf specialist. He had a heck of a meet, and he started out having a great meet again. So whatever horses he's choosing to make that move from Woodbine, I don't know if they've got a particular look to them, a particular foot, what the behavior is that he's looking for, but it's working with the horses he's bringing from there.
And how about his off-the-claim numbers? He just claimed this one, close to 40% first off the claim. Here's Bella Moon, blinkers on.
Yeah, blinkers will go on after a dull effort, so probably trying to wake her up.
Acorn Street at 9-1.
6 last time out at 31-1, so she'll drop.
Lauren Holiday, sent out by Jeff Hiles.
Good race 2 back. Tested a little salty waters last time against her friends. 19-1 might be a little steep.
Maria Rose, she struggled sprinting in the mud last start at Oaklawn.
The one positive, though, she does have one of her 2 wins here at Oaklawn.
Cowgirl Callie, she's a former stakes winner at Hawthorne back as a 2-year-old.
And she's going to dip to her career low because she's 0 for 7 the last 2 years. Fernando Bahena, her trainer, trying to wake her up.
Philly, we were talking about earlier, the morning line favorite, the 6, Marika for Ron Moquette.
In really good form. Listen, they dropped her for the win last time out, and she ran on for a nice second.
Fringe, the 7, she's 17-1. She will be coming from the clouds late.
You're right. She needs pace, and her debut in 2019 was not that bad. She might improve.
Uno Sueño, the 8 for Jinx Fires, 2-time winner from 13 starts. The other 11 tries has not hit the board.
No bueno for me.
Paul, look at you. Multilingual. Brown-Eyed Blues. This is the McLean Robertson runner who was making the 2nd start of the year.
Like this horse. I can't believe this horse is 10-1. Won with Cecily Evans, and this horse has changed with blinkers on, and I think that this filly needed that last out, will be improved today.
Here's the Norm McKnight runner off the claim, who's going to be debuting on a dirt surface.
Yeah, horse, you're right, making a debut. Gary makes a great point, though. Norman McKnight's a pretty good conditioner.
Little Miss Amy, she's gone gate to wire at Indiana, 3 starts back.
The trainer's been a little unlucky, 0 for 22 at the meet, but a lot of seconds and thirds. Looks for the 11 to try to get to the front end here.
2 minutes to post, race 5 at Oaklawn. We'll have it for you live when we come back. Still ahead on Fox Sports Saturday at the races. Now the Justifier race, the Curse of Apollo. Can lightning strike twice with Hidden Scroll on race as a 2-year-old? Second-time starter is the favorite in the Fountain of Youth. Still ahead.
This proven son of Giants Causeway has sired 4 millionaires, including Claiborne Farm stallion Lee. Recent top runners include 4-time graded stakes winner Miss Sky Warrior, 3-time graded stakes winner Sharp Samurai, multiple stakes winner Bal Harbor, and Dubai Group 3 winner Shamal Nibras. Last year, his 2-year-old sold up to $540,000, while his yearlings fetched up to a whopping $575,000. First Samurai, standing at Claiborne Farm.
It's America's original sport, and no one covers it better than americasbestracing.net. From the sport to the lifestyle, the best races, horses, and destination venues, cocktails, gambling, fashion, and more. americasbestracing.net is a sport for you. Live it, love it, bet it.
Welcome back to Fox Sports Saturday at the Races, brought to you by Claiborne Farm. It's almost post time here at Oaklawn Park in Hot Springs, Arkansas. Race 5 is for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, non-winners of 3, claiming price of $16,000 as they will contest the distance of a mile and a 16th. A very competitive group, but there is a solid standout in the number 5, Murica, named after George W. Bush. He races for Alex and Joanne Leblanc. Alex is the commissioner of the Arkansas Racing Commission, sent out by trainer Ron Moquette. Now, looks to improve off a second and a very solid second when facing non-3 contenders for the very first time at the $16,000 level that was at the mile, and also coming off a break. It was a bit of an unusual running style last go. Had to come from a dozen lengths from the back of the pack. Made a solid closing effort in the stretch, was only beaten a half a length for the victory. Santana gets in the irons again today, hoping to get the picture taken here on Saturday. And in that event, finished in front 2 lengths of Lauren Holiday, who returns as well. 4th place in that race was the number 9 Brown Eyed Blues for trainer Mac Robertson. Now, Mac Robertson hopefully says if she can save some ground today, does look to improve off that 4th race, or off that 4th place finish. You gotta like that she is in the money all 4 starts at today's distance. Mac also will saddle Amy's Challenge, the 7-5 morning line favorite in today's feature, the Spring Fever. Guys?
Yeah, we're very much looking forward to that performance in the Spring Fever. Amy's Challenge, she was brilliant winning the American Beauty at Oaklawn back in late January. We'll see if she can back it up in a rematch against Vertical Oak, who is the 4-5 morning line favorite. Didn't fire in that race. This race, Paul, Little Miss Amy, the 11 on the outside, is there a chance she just outquicks everybody to the front end here? Well,
like I said, she's the one that they're going to have to cast. This 5-year-old mare does have a lot of speed. The worry is she's won freight the last 2 years. And she's 0-3 at Oaklawn. Now, they got a 6-furlong race into her, and they put her way over her head on purpose to protect her. Listen, she's been in for tags of 16 and 35. They put her in an $80,000 allowance. She had no shot. That was more of a workout in the afternoon. Now they drop her for 16, and you make a great point. There is not a ton of pace in this race. Maybe she can get to the front end. That's why I like the 9 Brown Eyed Blues, because I thought the 9 could stay close enough and has a little pace to not be too far back, because I just don't see a lot of early zip in this field.
It looks like potentially with the fact that Bella Moon, the 1, is drawn inside, they are adding blinkers, want to get a little bit more speed out of her as well.
Well, they have to, right? Her last race wasn't obviously what they envisioned. She broke dead last, and she just ran around the racetrack. But she's shown speed in the past. She was worn blinkers way, way back when. They took them off, and hopefully they'll work. Second time's the charm.
It is still Murica, the 6 filly for Ron Moquette, favored on the board. She had a gate-to-wire score when she broke her maiden on this racetrack for $30,000 maiden claiming. That was back in April of last year. Can she pick up the 3rd win of her career? She'll break from post 6 with the leading rider at the meet, Ricardo Santana Jr. Vic Stauffer with the call, 5th from Oaklawn Park. You're watching Fox Sports Saturday at the Races on Fox Sports 2.
Post. They're off. Cowgirl Callie is sent hard. Little Miss Amy is in the center. These two go very fast. Bella Moon and Acorn Street are next. Then comes Brown Eyed Blues and Uno Sueño. Maria Rose and Northern Fern are next. Then Lauren Holiday and Murica. And the early trailer is Fringe. Match racing to the backstretch. Cowgirl Callie and Little Miss Amy, and they go quickly. Cowgirl Callie's a neck in front. Little Miss Amy's trying to back off her, and she does. Now a length behind Cowgirl Callie. Bella Moon is at the rail in the 3rd, 2.5 off the lead. She's a length and a half in front of Brown Eyed Blues. Then it's a gap of 4 lengths to Acorn Street, Uno Sueño, Northern Fern, and Lauren Holiday. They're all about 9 from the front. Maria Rose has 10 to make up. Murica 12 behind, and the trailer is Fringe as they run towards the half-mile pole. Cowgirl Callie still in front. Cowgirl Callie into the far turn. Now a 3-length lead over Bella Moon and Little Miss Amy, together 2nd and the 3rd. Brown Eyed Blues, Northern Fern between horses, and Acorn Acorn Street. Here's Acorn Street moving up quickly at the rail. She's going to go from 4th into 2nd. Meanwhile, Brown Eyed Blues is circling up on the outside. 2.5 to Acorn to Lauren Holiday. Then comes Maria Rose and America, top of the stretch, Cowgirl Callie. Brown Eyed Blues, Acorn Street at the rail. Maria Rose is moving up outside of Lauren Holiday. Here's Maria Rose in the blue cap. She's on the move. Many chances. Cowgirl Callie, Acorn Street. Maria Rose in the center. Murica is now within 2.5 of the front. Maria Rose strikes the lead. She's over a 16th out. Murica is running up in the center, trying to gun her down. Acorn Street still there at the rail. Maria Rose, Acorn Street. Murica in the center. Maria Rose, Acorn Street. Maria Rose. Maria Rose beat Acorn Street. Murica was 3rd, close for 4th. Cowgirl Callie and Northern Fern.
Mission not accomplished for Murica. Long shot Maria Rose with the upset here.
Yeah, and the race set up, but I can't figure this one on paper. Had one start here on February 7th, was beaten 12 lengths, took a drop for allowance that day in for 16, and Julio Felix staying busy out here in the middle of the racetrack on Maria Rose.
Yeah, another big long shot in Fox Saturday at the races. You can see the 6, America trying as hard as she can, and even the 2, Acorn Street, who was waiting for a tiny bit of room, but the 4 got the jump. Maria Rose and another price at Oaklawn. Hopefully you're scoring on some of these long shots out there.
It's been a day for prices here on Fox Sports Saturday at the races as we take you back to Ozone Park, New York. 7th from Aqueduct. Another quick look at the odds here. Spring Drama. Even money on the board right now for Kieran McLaughlin with Jose Lezcano. Coming off that big effort in the mud back in late January.
Yeah, it's a tough read. It really is. And here's the reason why. She was 0 for 8 going into her last race. She gets a muddy racetrack, and she's 85 cents on the dollar, and she won like she should have. Now, should she be even money? I don't know.
Well, 2 starts back. She was the first time on dirt. That was a race taken off the turf. She just missed on that fast track 2 back. We'll see. Here's the 1 gentle. Annie, she moves on by. She's just 1 for 17 lifetime as we look at the 2. Orchid Party for John Toscano Jr.
This is a long shot here at 10-1. She's got 4 wins at the racetrack, and she's 9 for 10 at the money, in the money at Aqueduct.
Distant 3rd at this level last time out. The 3 scratch, the 4 Miss Hot Stones. She's been off since December 2017.
When she broke her maiden, I thought she'd be a good maiden field, and she came back and did not disgrace herself in a nice little race. If she's ready, I think she's the one to beat.
Rajiv Mirage will be aboard, the even money favorite. And here is Spring Drama, 5-year-old mare for Kieran McLaughlin.
Maybe it was the mud, or maybe she just figured everything out last time, but 5 years old was the charm to break her maiden.
Pas de Deuce for John Morrison. She will make her 4-year-old debut.
You know, she's run some decent races. The last one was a little confusing. I think she wants to be behind horses a little bit rather than be in front.
And Kieran McLaughlin's got a little insurance here with the 7 on the outside. Pinchbeck, who was off for over a year, made a tough return to the races, finished dead last.
Yeah, you know, this horse has had a couple races on dirt, and they've both been very bad. The turf races have been great, but Kieran's sticking back with the dirt. That's why longest shot on the board at 9-1.
Well, is Spring Drama worth it? Very short price here off that win on a muddy track. Let's go to Andy Serling.
Well, we'll talk about Spring Drama in a minute. She and the 4 Miss Hot Stones will be very close, I think, in price by the time we get to post time. They're fairly close to the multi-race bets, though actually wrong. In the doubles, they're way separated. And that's probably a bad sign for the 4 Miss Hot Stones, because when she was running as a 2-year-old, and keep in mind, those races were 15 months ago, she was better as a 2-year-old than the horses are in this race now. So, in theory, even if she ran a race as a 2-year-old, she'd win here. But horses don't miss 15 months because they're working the party circuit. And she was also outside this day we're looking at, a day the rail was good. So she was against it in here. She was very good. But she's been laid up for a long time. And the chances she comes back, especially for her trainer, Bruce Levine, who's a terrific trainer, but not strong off layoffs. Horses often need a race or 2 to get in their best shape. I think she's a little bit vulnerable, and the board is saying she's very vulnerable, which makes the 5 Spring Drama a huge favorite, because they are the 2 favorites on paper, and if one of them off a layoff is cold in the board, it's going to make Spring Drama the other one an underlay. And Spring Drama is good enough to win this race, and she may win. But the truth is, she was beating up on an extremely weak field horse she won last time. That's why she won by 8 1/4 lengths. She ran okay, but she probably ran well enough where she could win this race, not well enough where she should be even money. And a lot of times when people look at races, they're seduced by big margins. They see a horse win by an enormous margin, think that horse has to be really good, when in reality, I think Gary would back this up. A lot of times it's talent, but it's also the field behind them. The big margins are about who is running behind them. And she is meeting tougher horses today. I didn't want to land on either favorite here, and I think there are two alternatives. One is the 6 Pas de Deuce. I think it's interesting that the 6 Pas de Deuce has spent her entire career pretty much running in route races. And while her sire Curlin, obviously she gets stamina from him, her dam, AC Ducey, won the Grade 1 Prioress at 6 furlongs, and she was a very talented sprinter. This horse has only run once at 6 furlongs, and she's never really run that fast, to be fair. But she's also a long shot, and I think cutting back to the 6 furlongs, coming off of this near 3-month layoff, might give her a chance to do her best running. Given the racetrack the way it's playing in her post position, I think she could be in a good spot here, and she has a chance for the upset. Another horse that has a chance to upset is the 1 Gentilani, who's overbet right now at 5-1. But likely to drift up as we get closer to post. Gentilani last time out ran a big speed track and a sloppy track we had, and she had no chance to close into that track. The time before that, she ran a 67 Beyer figure when she got wired, which is really a figure that puts her within hunting distance of the favorite, and she's a much bigger price. She has somewhat subtly improved for her trainer, Gary Siaka, and a horse that's probably going to go off in the 7 to 8 to 1 range by post time, she has a chance as well. And when I look at this board, I think, you know, the board is saying, play against Miss Hotstones. Yes, that makes Spring Drama the one to beat, but I don't think she's anywhere near an even money shot. I think it opens it up for the possibility of an upset.
Very short price, and again, that big margin of victory, a suspect who was behind her that day. Keep in mind, she's a 5-year-old mare, and it was a muddy racetrack as well. You look at the rest of this field, and who catches your attention?
Well, Orchid Party, the 2-horse sitting there at 9-1, and Raylu Gutierrez, the bug boy that already has a winner on the card. Impressed with him. This filly's getting the weight off of her for the first time today, and if you look back at her form recency here, she's not too bad. You've got 2 speed horses and 2 favorites, Miss Hotstones and Spring Drama, and this filly showed speed in the past, and who knows, if they leave him alone, if he gets a flyer and they leave him alone, you know, at 8-1, that's worth a couple bucks to me.
7-pound weight break she gets as well from the favorite.
Yeah, and that's huge. It really is. And the reason why is she's been in claiming races. Some of these other horses have not, so she'll get a little bit of a weight break. And yeah, then and the bug boy has been just dynamite, and he seems like he's better on the front end, and which they usually are. But I'm wondering what happens with Spring Trauma, with Miss Hotstones, how Rajiv Miraz is going to handle it for her here. Is he going to take back, or is he going to try to get to the front end? I'm sure after 15 months off, she's probably going to be keyed up.
Yeah, exactly. She's going to be fresh, and you know, I'm not a big weight guy when it comes to 6 pounds, 7 pounds, especially sprinting. But when you've got a bug boy that can ride and they're getting that kind of a weight break, it makes a difference. Trust me, I'd take up 5 pounds all day long. Matter of fact, the last year that I was riding, I said that Mike Smith and I, the 2 seniors in the jocks room, they should have been giving us the senior discount on our weight, but we couldn't have done the weight.
4 to 5, wow.
$82 winner back at Oaklawn. We were wondering how big that price was on Maria Rose. How about that?
Wow, wow, wow.
Prices continue here on Fox Sports Saturday at the races, and still a couple of really good races coming up out at Oaklawn. Obviously, we have a Kentucky Oaks and a Kentucky Derby Prep with 2 of the more talked about horses we're so excited to see return, but a couple of good sprints coming up at Oaklawn, including Mottola, who was one of the top 3-year-old sprinters from last year, making his return, and then, of course, the Spring Fever for fillies and mares in the 8th race today. Loading up, though, here for the 7th race in New York. Even money on the 5, Spring Drama. Can she back up that impressive maiden special weight victory back on January 25th, and can she do it on a fast track as well? You know, Andy was talking about bettors see big margins and they get seduced. We're going to see that as well with Hidden Scroll, who was a 14th length winner in his debut race.
Yeah, was that a subliminal message that he was sending us?
I'm guessing he's betting against Hidden Scroll. Yeah. That's what it may have been. We'll talk plenty about that one coming up, just off that one effort, the favorite, and the Fountain of Youth still to come on the road to the Kentucky Derby. As we load up here from race 7. 6 furlongs, And Spring Drama breaking from post 5 with Jose Lezcano. 5-year-old mare, the one to beat. John Imbrial with the call here on Fox Sports Saturday at the races.
And they're all in. And they're off. Spring Drama and Miss Hot Stones. It's Miss Hot Stones to grab the early lead with Spring Drama right alongside in second. And then it's a length and a half. Orchid Party's down at the rail, pinch back on the outside. The two trailers are Pas de Deuce and Gentle Annie. Miss Hot Stones has the lead here by a length. Then it's the gray Spring Drama on the outside with Orchid Party racing in third. The opening quarter mile, 23 and 4/5 seconds. Miss Hot Stones leads by a head. Spring Drama is now right alongside. Miss Hot Stones narrowly. Spring Drama in second. Pinch back on the outside in third with Orchid Party down at the rail in fourth. And then it's Pas de Deuce and Gentle Annie trails as they move for the head of the stretch. Miss Hot Stones, Spring Drama, pinch back on the far outside. Orchid Party looks to come through down at the rail. So it's Orchid Party, Miss Hot Stones, Spring Drama, and pinch back with an 1/8 of a mile to the finish. Now Spring Drama has taken a narrow lead. Pinch back on the outside. Spring Drama and pinch back, and it's between those two as they come on for the finish. Spring Drama, pinch back. It's going to be tight. It's going to be a photo finish. Photo finish. Was it pinch back, big long shot at 17-1, or was it the 3-5 favorite, Spring Drama?
Well, we know Kieran McLaughlin won this race. He wins it with the other runner in here, pinch back the long shot.
Yeah, 17-1, and we're hitting bombs all over the place right now. And looks like Spring Drama's home and dry until the last 100 yards or so, and you can see him just inching, and pinch back, getting up and hanging it on the other McLaughlin by a nose with Junior Alvarado.
Hopefully you're rolling dice at home, because this horse has lost by 75 lengths in the 2 races that she has raced on dirt, and she just won today at 17-1. And the only reason she's 17-1, it was only a 6-horse field. If there was more horses in here, she'd have been 27-1. But take nothing away from her. She brought her turf form. Her turf form wins this race, and she ran a turf race.
Yeah, she'd only run on the dirt one time on a fast dirt track, once on a wet track, and no good results at all. Evidently, she likes the snow in the infield.
Well, if you're just playing the trainer in here, maybe you cashed.
We've had
Kieran McLaughlin Exacta.
Well, we had a 21-1 shot at Oaklawn, a 41-1 shot at Oaklawn, and now a 17-1 shot at Aqueduct.
Wow. Here comes pinch back. Wide trip from off the pace, running down the 3-5 favorite or stablemate. And 2 5-year-old mares as well.
Yeah, you know what, Gary? Your 2-horse ran well, too. Tried up the inside, but Pinchback got the job done.
17-1 winner. Back at Aqueduct. We're going to take a break in the action. Carryover might be in order in that Naira Bets Late Pick 5.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit NairaBets.com. Sign up now for a $200 new member bonus with promo code LIVE at NairaBets.com.
Warfront has sired 8 champions and 10 millionaires. Recent Grade 1 winners include Homesman, Fog of War, Lancaster Bomber, and European champion U.S. Navy Flag, plus 2019 Kentucky Derby hopeful War of Will. He's also sire of the highest priced yearling sold in North America in 2018, and international super sire on all surfaces and all fronts. Warfront, standing at Claiborne Farm.
He's bred to lead. His name is Commissioner.
Elliot, I can't wait to see the Commissioner foals run this year. He was always one of the best foals we had. He was always one of the best yearlings we had. He was a maiden special weight winner at 2 at Saratoga. He went on to be a multiple graded stakes winner, and he's the last classic place son of AP Indy.
Let me tell you, they looked the part at the sale. He's by AP Indy. He's got a bottom side to boot. He's got every chance. I'm really excited about this crop.
We are back on Fox Sports Saturday at the races on Fox Sports 2. Our show brought to you in part by the champion sprinter Run Happy. 3-time Grade 1 winning millionaire. Set a record time in winning the Breeders' Cup Sprint at Keeneland. Never lost while sprinting in his career perfect 7 for 7, and a new addition to the Run Happy family. Welcoming another foal. Boom, Boom, Boom had a colt by Run Happy earlier this week. Part of E5 Racing's lineup now. Of course, they campaign the 2-year-old champion Good Magic, but welcome another Run Happy to the mix.
10 minutes better than that, does it?
Let's all chip in. We could do it. Back in New York, it's Pinchback, the other Kieran McLaughlin runner. Shocks everybody here. $36.80. This might play even bigger than that.
And a nice patient ride by Junior Alvarado there. Comes late, scoops the other McLaughlin. I got to say, if anybody else was, if the connections were different there between Junior Alvarado and Kieran McLaughlin, it might have been 50 to 1. I didn't see it.
I'm with you.
Pick 3 was $2,800. Paul said maybe nobody hits this Naira Bets late pick 5. That might be the case. $76 winner in leg 2, and now Pinchback, $36 winner who beats a 3 to 5 favorite.
Yeah, and the thing is, Jump for Joy, who started this, was your favorite on the morning line. That sort of got dismissed at the window, and I think a lot of people might have went a lot deeper in race 5 than they thought they were going into the race, and now you got to come up with a $76 and over a $40 horse. But if you are alive, I think a lot of people are going to be pinning their hopes on the 5 Weather Whiz, who's a little dead on the board to start.
And if you listen to Andy Serling, his best bet actually was on the rail with a horse who's now 7 to 2 taking some play. This is the Bernardini inaugural running of a race named after the champion 3-year-old of 2006. Mile and 5/16 coming up. Weather Whiz, short price for Jimmy Jerkins and Centennial Farms. Cross country, pick 5. It brings together great racing from top tracks in one single bet, and today includes racing from Aqueduct and Oaklawn, starting with that Bernardini race 8 at Aqueduct. You can play it nationwide, online, and on track, including at NairaBets.com. Cross country pick 5 available throughout all of our shows in March. Go to Naira.com/cross-country for details. Paul, what'd you come up with?
Well, here's the, you got to go with the cheap ticket here, right? We have the 5 here, Weather Whiz. If you want to use Andy's best bet, you're just going to have to double the ticket. I don't mind that. I actually like Andy's horse. He'd be my other horse in there. Race number 7 at Oaklawn. Mottola is going to be a heavy favorite at 7 to 5, and I think he'll come back with guns a-blazing. Back to Aqueduct. I don't think you really need to go deep there. And then in Oaklawn, I'm going to use Vertical Oak, Amy's Challenge, one other. And considering there's probably going to be some favorites, I got to get to Oaklawn race 9 and just pray for some kind of price to maybe get some value on the ticket.
Well, we still have our Road to the Kentucky Derby prep in the Fountain of Youth coming up. And before there was Hidden Scroll, for Bill Mott, there was a horse named Mucho that we saw win so impressively on Whitney Day last summer at Saratoga. This was the horse that had everybody talking, does Bill Mott have his Derby horse?
Well, he still may have another Derby horse. Mucho coming back off the layoff. He wants more ground than what he had yesterday. And short price at 1 to 2. Drew the inside, gets out late, and actually wins with a little more ease. And this is the first time that I've seen this replay here, but I like what I'm seeing in Mucho off the bench.
He's off for about 6 months. Paul wins by 1.25 lengths in his comeback, his first race back since he was beaten in the Grade 1 Hopeful.
I thought it was a gritty effort. Sometimes you want those type of efforts where they win like that. In between horses, have to dig in, and rather than being wrapped up, they get more out of it. And he seemed like he did a professional. Got a little high-headed there late because he's probably got a little tired because he hadn't been running in a little while. But I can't fault the effort. It was a good effort.
He was turned out after developing some stiffness in behind after the Hopeful. They're debating right now whether they're going to stretch him out or not. We are 9 weeks out from the Kentucky Derby, and in this game, that is a lifetime away in which Derby dreams can be dashed in an instant, or a new shooter can emerge out of nowhere, as is the case with Hall of Fame trainer Bill Mott's Hidden Scroll, whose debut performance was so jaw-dropping, he's become the favorite in the Fountain of Youth.
On the road to the Kentucky Derby, things can change pretty quickly. Sometimes it is a new face that ends up receiving the most attention. This was certainly the case with Hidden Scroll, who burst onto the scene for trainer Bill Mott with an impressive maiden win on a wet track. The son of Hardspun immediately gained a big following.
It was a surprise that he won as easily as he did. I mean, I think we were pretty excited about him, and we were high on him going into the race, and I don't believe it was any surprise for us to see that he won, but to see that he won in the fashion that he did was, you know, a bit of a surprise and awesome, to put it mildly. I think the only thing we can take out of that is we know he likes the slop. His works have been good over, you know, a dry, fast track, a regular type of a racetrack, so we feel pretty good about that as well. It's always a little different when they run over that type of racetrack. You don't know if some of the other horses didn't handle it quite as well or he was just that good, but you know, I think the time would lend itself to being a pretty good race.
Hidden Scroll will make his next appearance in the Express Bet Fountain of Youth, joining graded stakes competition in just his second start.
You'd have to have one win the way he won the first time and then come back out of it in good order. He's come back, you know, he seems like he's got an awfully good mind. He seems like it didn't shake him up too much. I mean, usually, you know, after the first race, a lot of horses get a little hyped up and, you know, you got to wait for him to come back down. But he's got a great disposition and he eats well and he's good in his training. His works have been good. This isn't a normal situation for us that we would jump right into a graded stake, but it's that time of year, and I think he's doing well enough. We're going to give him this one shot.
In Mott's Hall of Fame career, the Kentucky Derby seems to be the one missing piece.
We've had Derby horses before, and you know, I think as time has gone on, I've said, you know, this year we've got our best chance, this year we've got our best chance. Something that I'd really love to do, and I don't know what the feeling would be like. I've won a lot of big races, and they say it's pretty special when it happens, but you know, I'm patient enough, I feel good, and I'm healthy, so hopefully I'm around long enough to get it done.
Well, it was a huge performance. It had everyone talking, but who was behind him in that race? We don't know, or do we? A race that was just run about a half an hour ago at Gulfstream. Second, third, and fifth place finishers behind Hidden Scroll in that debut. They just came back to run 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, and going a mile and 16th. They were losing ground on Hidden Scroll that day. They stretched out today to a mile and a 16th. They won clear. First two place finishers, they finished a neck apart. Third place finisher was a ways further back, but that's when form holds up.
Look, he's only had one start. What's the biggest concern for a horse like this, trying to rush him to get into the Triple Crown? Is it a physical standpoint? Is it mental? Or is it both?
I'd say it's a combination, but that word rush doesn't belong in Billy Mott's vocabulary. He doesn't believe in that. He's not rushing this horse. You know, he took his time getting him ready to run. He was obviously ready to run a flat mile the first time. He had an idea at the back of his head. Matter of fact, I think he was quoted already as saying, look, Justify did it last year. I don't expect lightning to strike twice. Yeah, right. But he said, I'm going to try and see if it will happen. But they knew he had some quality. And like Billy said, he's so humble. He said, you know, maybe it was the track, maybe it wasn't. But I'm excited.
Garrett O'Rourke, he's the GM at Juddmonte. Just wanted to get Bob Baffert's thoughts because, of course, he broke the curse of Apollo last year with Justify, and just wanted to get some thoughts on how he handled things with Justify. Bob Baffert had a simple solution. Send me the horse.
Send me the horse, yeah. Right?
Well, the Honey Fox is coming up next, and speaking of Bill Mott, how about a race that he has absolutely owned? 8-time winner of this mile race on the turf, and he's going to go for number 9 with a horse to the outside and Dulce Lily. It's been quite a performance he's put forth in this race.
Yeah, and Dulce Lily not without a chance today. Johnny Velas already had a couple wins today, and this one's 1 for 1 at Gulfstream.
Grade 3 Honey Fox coming up from Gulfstream when we return. Stay with us on Fox Sports Saturday at the races.
One of the things I like about Run Happy is he's one of the more athletic sires that I've seen. He's clearly passing that on through his offspring. He's really sampling the foals, and they're starting to look a lot like him.
Well, this horse comes from a great sire who was just so talented, and we've wanted to buy one ever since we started looking in November.
16.5, market bank $250,000. And then you add a sire like Run Happy, and then you put a physical on the ground like that baby, and you know, for us, it's a must-have.
Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit NairaBets.com. Sign up now for a $200 new member bonus with promo code LIVE at NairaBets.com.
Tommytown Thoroughbreds, home of Boisterous, a multiple graded stakes winner with earnings of more than $1.4 million and 12 career victories, including the Grade 1 Man o' War Stakes at Belmont Park.
Boisterous roaring up on the outside, and it will be boisterous.
And sire of recent impressive winner, Loudmouth.
Loudmouth, strong at the top of the stretch, turns for home, loaded. No doubt about it, performance from Loudmouth.
Boisterous, standing at Tommytown Thoroughbreds. It pays to be Cal-bred.
Welcome back to Fox Sports Saturday at the Races. Horses heading to the post at Oaklawn Park for race number 6, Fillies and Mares. A first level allowance optional claiming price of $16,000 as they are set to sprint 6 furlongs. Taking a closer look here at the number 6, Ransomed from the barn of trainer Robertino Diodoro. David Cohen in the irons, just drawn a line through her last race when she tested much tougher stakes runners going the mile distance at Gulfstream Park. You got to look 2 back when she scored a very nice starter handicap at Santa Anita. Sprinting, she tested a very hot pace and scored that by a length. I do like the fact that she does shorten up here today as she makes the local debut and has won 3 of 4 attempts at the distance. It's a very competitive group, but let's send it out to Greg.
All right, Nancy, thank you. So 6 furlongs coming up in this allowance optional claiming field. The 3, big price on I'm the Boss right now, moving in line. She comes in off a couple of wins, though. Her last was on turf at 5 furlongs. World Riot, the 4. This was one of the top choices morning line. 2 wins, though. 1 on a synthetic track, another on a sloppy track, and she handled the fast dirt. Vic Stauffer with the call. Here's race 6 from Oaklawn.
They're at the post. They're off. Can't Touch Me Now wins the break, goes for the front from I'm the Boss right now, the Girl Factor, Ransomed, and Claire's Music. Then World Riot and Ms. K, and the early trailer is Highland Lass. Can't Touch Me Now about to get 2 challenges from Ransomed and Claire's Music. Can't Touch Me Now, just a neck in front. The Girl Factor is 4th, tucked in at the rail, and 2 from the front. Then I'm the Boss right now, and a 3-wide World Riot. Ms. K and Highland Lass still at the back of the pack, 5 lengths. First to last, Can't Touch Me Now still in front. Can't Touch Me Now from Ransomed, who's even closer. And here's Ransomed, going to put her white blinkers on the lead. When we get to the quarter pole, Ransomed might be about a length in front. World Riot is passing horses, and here she comes in the black cap, 4 wide. Highland Lass draws within 3 of the lead. Ransomed and World Riot are 1-2. Ransomed leads by a half length. World Riot alongside Highland Lass is to 3rd now, but 2.5 from the new leader, and that leader is World Riot. World Riot a half length in front of Ransomed, who battles on. Then Highland Lass to the outside. World Riot, Ransomed, and Highland Lass. World Riot in front. World Riot beat Highland Lass by a half length. Ransomed 3rd, Ms. K 4th.
World Riot, she won her Oaklawn debut, sloppy track back in early February. Now she's 2 for 2 here.
Yeah, and lightly raced. She's only raced 8 times today, being her 8th start, 3rd win, and patient ride from Ramon Vasquez. You see Ransom with David Cohen on weakening the last 16th of a mile. So I guess World Riot answers the question. She won on the wet racetrack. She can run on the dirt fast as well.
Yeah, the 7 picks up the pieces here in Highland Lass. The blinkers came off, and she finished a lot better. And again, I mean, not the favorite in that late pick 4 and pick 5 at Oaklawn.
Hit the All-Stakes late pick 4 at Gulfstream today. On Fountain of Youth data, hitter split a huge $1 million bonus on Naira bets. That's equal to $1,000 in your betting account. Place your bet and get the details at nairabets.com. Post parade for the Grade 3 Honey Fox. It's brought to you by OCD Pellets, celebrating over 10 years of supporting the equine industry with their 2-in-1 bone and joint supplement. For more information, visit OCDpellets.com as we start things off with Precious for 3-time reigning champion trainer Chad Brown.
Wow, odds on at 4-5, but she was giant last time out. This will be her second time in the U.S.
Kelly Breen sends out the speedster valedictorian, who's a 3-time winner on the turf here.
Yeah, she likes to win races. 10 for 24 lifetime, and she will be part of the pace early here.
Fire Key, she was 3rd behind Dulce Lily last out in a stakes race.
Another horse that likes to win, like 7 for 25, but 14 for 25 in the exacta.
La Signare, her best moment came in the Grade 3 Wonder again last summer at Belmont.
Brian Lynch having an okay meet. He does get the services of Jose Ortiz aboard.
Long shot at 67-1. Here's Valentine Wish, Victoria Oliver.
Yeah, this is a mare lemon drop kid that needs to step it up a tiny bit. Chris Lenderos in the irons.
Maybe the speed of the field here stretching out. Scotty's Model with Julian Leperoux.
Yeah, Yvonne Belsor. He's a sneaky little trainer. Julian Leperoux will get aboard.
Conquest Hard Candy. We saw this 5-year-old mare race in the Endeavor.
Yeah, a horse that brings a little bit of speed and was pretty good in the Endeavor and does have 2 of her 3 wins here at Gulfstream.
Long shot, Hogan's Holiday with Irad Ortiz Jr. aboard, comes in off a win.
Yeah, she does come in off a win, but that was a weak field. This is steep waters here.
Bellevue, she's like a fine wine, getting better as a 5-year-old mare, now maybe the best of her career.
Yeah, so what do you take into account that Castellano left her to ride the 1? You really don't know. Rosario will pick up the mount, so obviously very capable.
And can Bill Mott win this race for a 9th time in his career with Dulce Lily?
I think the outside post is her only obstacle. But she's going to be right there, and 8-1 is way too high of a price on that mare.
8-1 from a 4-1 morning line. Trainers own this race, getting no respect at the window right now.
Doesn't make
Is
sense.
it the tough outside post?
It's got to be.
I don't know. I like Bellevue and Dulce Lily if they can work out a trip from the outside.
Let's head to Hallandale Beach and check in with Acacia Courtney.
Thanks, Greg, and I agree with you. I think Dulce Lily is way too high a price right now for trainer Bill Mott, but all of the money coming in on Chad Brown to the rail with Precious, who's coming in off the layoff, and I thought that she looked really fit physically, but she did get really a little bit keyed up on the horse path heading out onto track, and she's been kind of just jig-jogging over the track, tossing her head a little bit, just acting up a little bit, which is not too surprising given that she hasn't raced in about 7 months and has only had 2 starts since June of 2017. But again, she did look fit. She came from off the pace running behind Uni. She's kept great company, and she's got a lot of quality being a Group 1 winner. But talking about a couple of other horses, I heard you guys mention Bellevue, who just keeps getting better with age. And I just spoke to owner Jerry Bortolazzo. Great to see somebody like him who's put so much into the game, and he's got a really nice mare in this little one. And he said she actually lost 10 pounds from her last race. She now weighs in at a cool 930 pounds. She's very, very slight in stature. She's very handy, and Jerry did tell me that was why they really did like Javier Castellano, because he has a smaller stature as a rider, but they thought that Joel Rosario was really going to fit her as he's very, very athletically strong. So he's very happy to have Joel aboard today, and he said that her tenacity more than anything. Sometimes you see it with these smaller mares that they have a lot of fire to them, and that's definitely the case with Bellevue. So she's going to be coming from a nice tactical stalking spot. Joel Rosario does a great job here. And just to wrap things up, the 4 La Signare, she does have a full hood on. Thought that she looked even better than I saw her last time out in the Marshwood River. Maybe another one to take a look at for Brian Lynch. But I think it's a really good rendition. I think that it's a little bit of a short price right now on Chad Brown's runner to the rail in the Grade 3 Honey Fox.
Acacia, thank you. Look, Precious from the rail, Group 1 winner. She's obviously the class of the field, but 4-5, did you expect that?
Yeah, I think so, with the connections and all, but from that one post position, I mean, we've been sitting here talking off air, and she's maybe made the lead a little bit early on a couple of occasions. Well, when you draw the 1 hole, go in these 2 turns, you know, if he gets shuffled back, it's going to be a fine line of sitting and waiting, or if something opens up, taking that cue there and possibly making the lead a little bit early. So this is in Javier Castellano's hands right now, and that's what he's so good at.
Really is. And I would think Valedictorian is going to be his, or is going to be her, like, tote. Like, Valedictorian goes to the front, maybe she parks right behind the two, and then Castellano has to find room late.
Valedictorian will break from post 2. Grade 3 Honey Fox. Bill Mott trying to win this race for a 9th time with Dulce Lily from post 10.
Racing in the Honey Fox. Valedictorian gets the first call, quickly tackled by La Signare, who's headed off for the lead, and La Signare will get a clear advantage in the charge to the first turn. Valentine Wish is away in the top flight with Valedictorian down at the inside. Out wide on the course is Scotty's Model trying to work over while 3 or 4 deep. The favorite Precious is down at the inside and races about 4.5 lengths off the lead. Bellavey has dropped over to the rail for Rosario, racing about 6 lengths off the pace setter. On the 3 path is Conquest Hard Candy, who's off the speed today. Fire Key is between horses. Second last is Dulce Lily, and it's 2.5 to the trailer. The trailer is Hogan's Holiday. They speed down the backstretch after an opening quarter in an aggressive 23-2. La Signare allowed to roll along up front, leads it by almost 3. Valentine Wish is second, Valedictorian is third, Scotty's Model is fourth. Precious is unhurried at this stage under Castellano, 5th at the inside. Conquest Hard Candy is 3 wide. In between horses goes Fire Key, and Bellavey is at the rail. Up on the outside, and Hogan's Holiday tries to get underway with Dulce Lily as La Signare is committed for home under Jose Ortiz. 1.5 mile and 46-2 and bumps the margin to 5. From the inside, and Valedictorian starts to quicken and get after her second. Up on the outside, the favorite Precious in stride while third. 2.5 clear of Scotty's Model in the wrap, the top of the stretch. La Signare's lead is gone. Here's Valedictorian to take her shot between horses. Precious let go on the outside by Castellano. Bellavey follows her from 4th. An elite run from long shot Fire Key. In deep stretch, Valedictorian trying to hold off Precious. Bellavey is loose. Here's Precious surging. Precious will win it. Second, Valedictorian closer for third. Hogan's Holiday and Bellavey with Fire Key and 134 flat.
This time the move timed perfectly with Javier Castellano and Precious, winner of the Grade 3 Honey Fox.
Hey, got the perfect trip, and Paulie called it, getting the lead from Valedictorian with Tyler Gaffleon. Tyler rode a great race. He was patient back there with the loose on the lead, La Signatar and Jose Ortiz. And when Tyler pushed the button, watch deep and stretch here. Javier doesn't go nuts until about 50 yards from the wire, knowing that this filly would pull up a little bit. He rode her the one and only time she started here in the United States, and sometimes it takes one trip to get to know one, and it pays dividends when you get on him the second time.
Yeah, you're right. He was making sure that he was going to make that move right at the right time, and he was not going to hit the front way too early.
Very patient, waiting till the last moment to make that move, and when he asked for more, he got it. It's Precious for trainer Chad Brown, Peter Brandt, Javier Castellano in the Honey Fox.
There's one thing that everybody wants in our game is they want speed. Daredevil has the speed. You know that he ran a 107 buyer when he won the Champagne Stakes, the Grade 1. That's faster than Uncle Mo, Scat Daddy, and Union Rag.
As a 2-year-old, he ran a 96 buyer when he broke his maiden, a 107 buyer in the Champagne, beating a nice horse in Upstart. He is by more than ready. Another feather in his cap. I can't wait to see these horses run it too.
Love Acres Ranch, proudly standing multiple Grade 1 winner Stay Thirsty, the leading California sire by earnings whose first 2 crops of racing age are impressing, including Grade 1 winner Mind Control.
Mucho on the outside is second best to Mind Control in the hopeful.
As well as the lightning fast Coal Front, Maryland Juvenile Futurity winner Always Mining, and Argentinian superstar Golden Leaf. Stay Thirsty, the only son of Bernardini standing in California, and introducing Smoke'em, son of Union Rags, now standing at Love Acres Ranch. For the love of the game, it pays to be Calbred.
I was hoping when we entered this horse in the sale that I would come up here and be in My Name's Happy and have the first run happy that hit it out of the park. We're ecstatic about it.
He's just a natural athlete. He's got length. He's got good substance to him. He's very correct. He's got a very free, effortless walk. Very intelligent, good mind. This is the horse we brought here to make a sound.
Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
We're back on Fox Sports Saturday at the races, brought to you in part by America's Best Racing. Are you up for anything? You want to visit americasbestracing.net for the latest and greatest. Stakes race coming up at Aqueduct. Let's check in with Andy Serling.
Thanks, Greg. The Bernardini coming up. And the horse to beat is Weather Whiz, and a justifiable 4-5 favorite. Probably be 4-5 even money. Weather Whiz is a horse that should have no problem. It's an odd distance. It's 1 mile and 5/16, so it's a 1/16 of a mile more than the Kentucky Derby and an 1/8 of a mile more than the Preakness. Weather Whiz has the pedigree and the running style and the races to suggest that the distance should not be a problem. He's got tactical speed, so he can be forwardly placed, but he doesn't need the lead, and he's posted well towards the outside. He is absolutely the horse to beat, and I have no problem with that. I just wanted to take a horse at a slightly bigger price, and that's why I went to the one Leotone. I'm assuming it's Leotone. How good he is remains to be seen. But what I like about this horse was he made a trainer switch, same owners, but a new trainer last time to George Weaver, and he improved dramatically off of that trainer change. He was involved in the pace that collapsed in the John Campbell down at Laurel in a contentious field, and he ran arguably the best race he's ever run for the new barn. I don't love the post, but Jose Lezcano is going to know to get off the inside, and I'm not sure the inside's as bad as everybody thinks. And I think Leotone can be somewhat forwardly placed, but he doesn't need to be overly aggressive. I just think he's the one who may have the most ability and best shot to beat the favorite. The number 6, Royal Albert Hall, is a wild card in this race. His trainer, Rob Atras, a former assistant to Robertino Diodoro, has burst on the scene and been almost unbeatable. And as you can see, looking at Royal Albert Hall, the first time he ran for Rob, he improved dramatically in his first start. But it was also a sloppy track. And he's a turf horse more than a dirt horse that's 2 for 40 lifetime. So whether or not, A, he's going to be as good in a fast track, or B, he really wants the 1 mile and 5/16 is another question. Not impossible, a very dangerous trainer, but I'll take my shots that Leotone is better. I bet him to win, and I bet a 5-1 exacta.
Well, Leotone will break from the inside post, post 1, multiple Grade 1 winner in Chile. Taking support at the window. 6-1 morning line, 7-2 currently, but all the money on the 5. Weather Whiz, odds-on favorite here for Jimmy Jerkins.
Yeah, only 30 combinations left in the Naira Late Pick 5, and I would think maybe 29.5 are relying on the 5, Weather Whiz.
It's the inaugural running of the Bernardini from Aqueduct and the start of this cross-country Pick 5. John Embriel with the call.
And they're off. And they all came away to a good beginning. From the inside, it's Hit It Once More and Leotone. As they come by the stands for the first time, it will be Leotone to grab the lead from Hit It Once More. The front two have 3 lengths on Weather Whiz in third and 1 lap remaining. Leotone, Hit It Once More, 1-2. And then Weather Whiz next in third. Towards the inside is Holiday Bonus in fourth and Shalako alongside in fifth. At the back of the pack are Royal Albert Hall and Forewarned. They go around the clubhouse turn, and Hit It Once More is now in front, and Hit It Once More has built a 3-length lead over Leotone. The quarter went in 23 and 3/5 seconds. Hit It Once More now by 4.5 lengths. Leotone is second by 4, and Weather Whiz is third. Down on the inside is Holiday Bonus in fourth. Shalako runs in fifth, and Royal Albert Hall. And at the back is Forewarned. They're racing up the back stretch. Hit It Once More has the lead here by 3 lengths. Leotone giving chase in second. Then it's Weather Whiz and Holiday Bonus heads apart third and fourth. Shalako's on the outside running in fifth, followed by Royal Albert Hall, and farther back is Forewarned. Positions unchanged, but they're closing in now on Hit It Once More. Hit It Once More, 3/4 of a length, now a half length. Leotone's in between horses, and on the outside is the odds-on favorite Weather Whiz. They go around the far turn. Hit It Once More, 3/4 of a length. Leotone in second. Weather Whiz is third. Holiday Bonus down at the rail. On the outside is Shalaco. Then comes Royal Albert Hall, and they're coming for the top of the stretch. Hit It Once More continues to lead here. It's Hit It Once More by a length and a half. Leotone is in second. Weather Whiz, Shalaco, Royal Albert Hall, and Holiday Bonus. Hit It Once More has the lead in the stretch. It's Hit It Once More by 3 lengths. Royal Albert Hall now moves into second. Shalaco is on the outside in third. Hit It Once More, trying to hang in there for another 16th. But here is Royal Albert Hall to take over in deep stretch. And it will be Royal Albert Hall with a fine performance to win the Bernardini. Hit It Once More, the pace setter was second. Then Shalaco, and Forewarned came from out of it to complete the superfecta.
Royal Albert Hall wins the inaugural running of the Bernardini Junior Alvarado aboard.
Wow. I mean, this is an old California horse. I know this horse backwards and frontwards. Used to be in the Doug O'Neill barn, was a turf horse. 3 dirt starts and 2 for 40 lifetime with 10 seconds and a lot of thirds. The horse has got a lot of money in the bank, Gary. He's got back class. He just does not like to win races. I'm surprised, but he went right by the front runner here.
You know what happened here is he knows that it's feed time right now, and he's got a bucket full of feed back at the barn. This is the way back to the barn. 2 horses exhausted down on the fence here, and he just inherits the lead, and it's not like he's not trying. He's reaching right now. He's the only one that's running here at the end.
Yeah, and Weather Whiz, the favorite, just ran awful, Andy, and I know the one that both of our horses that we both like just didn't fire at all, but Weather Whiz was awful.
Let me say a couple things about the track. First of all, there's been a lot of talk that the rail's dead. Well, I think we saw in this race the rail's not dead. We have seen runners. We saw Orchid Party run fine in the 7th race, the inside. And Hit It Once More ran very well here. A good aggressive ride. He tried to bottom the field out. Rob Atross, the trainer of Royal Albert Hall, has been a juggernaut. His horses have been absolutely running out of their skin, improving dramatically, and this is another good example of that. Junior Alvarado riding great. 3 wins in today's card. Gave this horse a perfect ride. I agree. Terrible performance from Weather Whiz. He had nothing. Leotone tried to chase the second horse a long shot, and he came up empty as well. This is a nice performance by a trainer whose horse has been running very, very well since he took out his trainer's license, or started training again. He's trained on his own before, but he's mostly been an assistant. But a nice performance by the runner-up, and I think we need to discount a little bit the idea that it's just some big outside closers track today. Don't think that's the case.
Yeah, Robert Altras, he learned under Robertino Diodoro. Robertino Diodoro started out at Hastings Park, and within 2 years, he had a barn all over the place. So this guy knows exactly what he's doing.
Back in the Grade 3, Honey Fox, not this time for Bill Mott. In a race that he's won 8 times before, it's Chad Brown, Peter Brandt, Javier Castellano, and Presus off a 7-month layoff for the victory.
7-month layoff and a great ride by Javier Castellano. Great try by Tyler Gaffalion on Valedictorian, but the perfect trip. This is what that filly needs, is a lead until about the last 50 yards. She's going to stick her head in front, but only for a few jumps, and it was well timed.
Check in with Acacia Courtney.
I'm here with winning trainer Chad Brown. Chad, it's been a pretty good day for you, but what did it mean to get Precious home today here in this race?
It meant a lot. You know, Mr. Brandt's been very patient with this horse. Obviously, she hasn't run much the last couple of years. She had a few little injuries, and we thought about retiring a couple of times, but he was the one that wanted to go on and give her one more shot, and it was important to get her year started off and prove that she deserved to run the whole year and not be bred.
She has a lot of quality being a Group 1 winner in Europe, but what is it like getting a mare like that ready to come back to the racetrack?
Yeah, I mean, it's a privilege because she has such class, and we're very lucky to have her. It's a source of frustration sometimes when you get one race in a couple years' time to, you know, make sure you have them ready. And luckily, my staff again did a fabulous job, and Javier really rode a great race and tricky mile race here off a layoff, and you know, he judged the pace good and gave her a nice clean trip. I'm happy about that.
Absolutely, Chad. Thank you and congratulations.
Thanks again.
Chad Brown, winner of the Honey Fox.
So Presus off the bench, perfectly timed ride from Javier Castellano.
It really was. It really was. And like we said, we talked going into this when she hit the front early last time. Uni, her stablemate, was able to outduel her. But today, Javier knew exactly what he was doing. He learned from his first effort. And, like, I mean, how much can you learn from riding a horse one time to the second prize?
Oh, you can learn a lot in a short period of time. And the bad thing is, I rode a horse named Exborn, who was one of the best milers that I ever rode, and it was a Judd Mott horse for Bobby Franco back in the day. And if that horse hit the lead instant too soon, he would pull up. He'd be in front for one jump, and I only made the mistake one time on him. And I'd sit and wait, and if the hole opened up 50 yards from the finish line, he'd actually win by daylight. But as soon as he opened the daylight, he would pull up, race was over. And you see that a lot with the French horses that come over their turn, trained to show a turn of foot, a big burst of speed at the end of a race, and sometimes it only lasts for a couple of strides.
Back at the Bernardini, Royal Albert Hall with the win. 6-2, 4-7 finish, 24-1 shot run down there by Royal Albert Hall. As we take a look at the Naira bets, late pick 5 follow along. $76 winner, $36 winner, and just a few horses who are not covered.
1459. So if you live on 1459 Olive Street, hopefully you played this ticket.
We're going to take a break. More to come. It was a productive Breeders' Cup day for Joel Rosario. Of course, he won the Classic, won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile on Game Winner, and this filly, Jaywalk, went even quicker than Game Winner in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile filly. She makes her 3-year-old return to the Davona Dale. Next.
Eclipse champion Blame was considered by many as the breakout stallion of 2018. His top runners included Grade 1 winner and Eclipse Award finalist Marley's Freedom, plus Grade 1 winner Fault and graded stakes winners Moreau, Beyond Blame, Miss Kentucky, and Blamed. His yearlings sold up to $500,000, and his sensational daughter Fault brought $1.2 million at the November sale. Outstanding results, outstanding value. Blame, standing at Claiborne Park.
Smiling Tiger's progeny continued to dominate with Cruel Intention following up his stellar debut with a win at the Golden State Juvenile, and Grade 1 winner Spiced Perfection, who's earned over $622,000, and graded stakes winner Ace Korea. 30 winners from 59 starters and 10% black type winners in 2018. California's #1 first crop sire in 2017 and California's #1 second crop sire in 2018. Smiling Tiger. Visit SmilingTigerStallion.com for more information. It pays to be Calbred.
Welcome back, Fox Sports Saturday, America's Saturday at the races. Back at Oaklawn Park, just minutes away from race 7, and allowance going 6 furlongs, featuring the return of Mottola from the barn of trainer Steve Asmussen, Ricardo Santana aboard. Now, the 2-time stakes winner does come off the layoff from back in mid-May and a 6 1/4 length win in the Chick Lang at Pimlico, which was contested over the slop. He returns to racing today. A very impressive victory. Now, the majority of his racing experience has been here at Oaklawn Park. Very glad to see him back today. And the reason for that bit of a layoff was because, according to Steve Asmussen, he popped a splint after racing over the slop, and it did take a little bit more time than they had anticipated to get him back to the races. He has been training down at the fairgrounds in prep for the comeback. Steve just said the weather was more favorable than up here in Arkansas. He was very much on his toes in the post parade. You could tell that he's happy to be back and to make his comeback here today. He loves it here at Oaklawn Park. He broke his maiden by 10, won a first-level allowance, and scored the gazebo all by a combined 26 lengths. And down at the fairgrounds, he posted a pair of bullet drills in return for the comeback. Greg, to you in the studio.
Yeah, Nancy, thank you. Ton of talent for Mottola, and now we get to see his 4-year-old return to the races. 4 victories by a combined 32 1/4 lengths as we see him move into the gate.
And he is just super, super fast. The race, one race he got beat last year in the gazebo. I was on another Asmussen in that race, and it wasn't the 2 prettiest strides you'd ever see from Santana and Stevens. I'll leave it at that.
The return of Mottola. Can he establish himself as one of the top sprinters in the country? Vic Stauffer with the call from Oaklawn.
They're off. Fort Fortitude and Wilbo, Mottola between horses, Gordy, Florida, and Majestic Affair, Mottola to the front. Sight for Sore Eyes and Bourbon Cowboy at the back of the pack. It is Mottola up the backstretch, 3/4 of a length in front of Gordy, Florida in second. A length and a quarter to Majestic Affair and Fort Fortitude. Sight for Sore Eyes is moving up outside of Wilbo. They've both got 5 lengths to make up, and Bourbon Cowboy is at the back of the pack, 5.5 from the front-running favorite, Mottola. Mottola around the far turn, still 3/4 of a length in front of Gordy, Florida in second. Majestic Affair is third. Bourbon Cowboy now catches the eye, and here he comes between horses. Bourbon Cowboy is up within 2.5 of the front. White blinkers, needs a way through. Meanwhile, Mottola is still in front. Mottola off the top of the turn, a length in front of Gordy, Florida. Then Majestic Affair and Bourbon Cowboy between horses. Mottola now opens up. Mottola is now 3 lengths in front. Bourbon Cowboy might get into second, but no way does he win because Mottola is cruising to victory. Mottola won by 4, could have been twice that. Bourbon Cowboy got second from Gordy, Florida. Majestic Affair was 4th.
5 career wins now for Mottola by more than 36 lengths as his 4-year-old returned to the races. Very successful.
And he is so fast and so fun to watch. I mean, he comes into the stretch, and when he switches leads, you can barely even see it. His stride doesn't change, it just lengthens. And Ricardo never moved on him until right there at the 3/16 pole. Takes a little peek and just giving a little pop on the shoulder, loose line. He didn't even pick him up to ask him for anything else the last 16th of a mile. That was beautiful.
You know, and the thing about it, when it comes to the Breeders' Cup division, Oaklawn Park has always thrown out some good sprinters. Work All Week, ring a bell at about 19-1. This horse is putting up some dynamite efforts, and that was effortless.
2-year-old champion filly Jaywalk. She makes her 3-year-old debut as she returns in the Grade 2 Davona Dale, trying to take the same path to the Kentucky Oaks as Catherine Sophia did for trainer John Service in Cash's King stable. And here she is, 1-9 on the board. She's won 4 in a row.
Beautiful charcoal gray by by cross traffic. Definitely the one to beat.
John Service says she is coming into this race as good as she can be. He's extremely happy. Chuck Zachney at Cash's King says it takes a lot to make him happy. Yeah. Cookie Dough, she's won back-to-back starts against softer competition.
Listen, she's jumping into deep waters, but her win was good. She went from the 12 hole last time out of 13.
Barbara Minshaw sends out another time, long shot.
Not a bad effort last time, now she'll stretch to a mile.
Geltrin won second time out against 50 Maiden Claiming Company.
Yeah, she was 4th in the Forward Gal last time at 124-1, so she tries her heart out.
Ian Wilkes sends out Champagne to anyone. It was just 3rd in a Grade 3.
She brings her lunch pail to every race, it seems like. You know, 4 finishes in the top 3 out of 5.
Dirt debut for Bold Script.
Yeah, winner last time out. Now Jose Ortiz will get aboard. This will be the first time she's going to try dirt.
And high regard for Victoria Oliver, graded stakes placed.
Yeah, you know, she's very polished. I thought her Goldenrod was better than looked. Her race before that, the Rags to Riches, she had a little bit of issues altering out and had to switch up to the outside and make a move. So 16-1, I don't see it being that high of a price. But a horse is 1-9, so all the rest of the odds are inflated.
So look at the Kentucky Oaks leaderboard. This, of course, on that road to the first Friday in May, Serengeti Empress for our colleague Tom Amos. After that win in the Rachel Alexandra atop the list, and Jaywalk in the number 5 spot right now. Bellafina, of course, we saw on our show just the other week on President's Day. She was ultra impressive, but for Jaywalk, John Service says it is her high cruising speed that makes her so dangerous.
Might be her high cruising speed, but she, when Joelle pushes the button, she lengthens right here, and she's wanting to lean in a little bit there. Still a little bit green, but remember, it was a huge crowd that day at Churchill Downs with it being Breeders' Cup Day. And this is fun to watch. I mean, to see a 2-year-old filly do this with that kind of move, with that kind of crowd that day, and she just keeps getting better.
And that was her first time around, you know, 2 turns, and now they're going back to 1 turn here, and I get it. She's facing not as good as the field as she faced in the Breeders' Cup, but this is just a starting point, and there you see her resume on the bottom left. Yeah, the sky's the limit, and John Service, like we've talked before, just knows how to train a champion, and I don't see her slowing down, and maybe she doesn't need to lead. Maybe they want to get something out of this race.
Well, she was freshened out at Hidden Brook Farm after that victory in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies, and her trainer, John Service, said that has really done her some good, especially mentally. She's not a real big, robust filly, but mentally, John Service said she has actually matured a lot from 2 to 3. 1 to 5 on the reigning 2-year-old champion filly. Let's go to Acacia Courtney.
Thanks, Greg. Yes, 1 to 5, a very short price on her for sure. But as you were saying, she's not a robust filly. I remember speaking to trainer John Service before the Breeders' Cup because that was my first time actually seeing her in the flesh. And I was surprised by what a kind of lean, feminine look that she had to her. And seeing her again today, she actually looks, if possible, even a little bit tighter, a little bit even leaner than I saw her before the Breeders' Cup. She looks super fit off the bench. And I just spoke to John Service, and he said doesn't love the one hole going the 1-turn mile in here, but that is the luck of the draw. But he said what had really attracted him to her in the start was that she just had a beautiful head on her, that she was really just kind of chiseled, and though she wasn't overwhelming as far as her size and really imposing, she checked all the right boxes and was just really beautifully put together, great stride, and got over the racetrack so beautifully. So she has all of those things in her corner. An Eclipse Award, Breeders' Cup win. Happy to have her back here, and of course there are bigger fish to fry, but I think that she does meet the right field in here. But it is a horse race. We don't run them on paper, as we always say. I used the number 5 Champagne Anyone for trainer Ian Wilkes in second, and I thought that this horse ran really well from the 1 hole, going 7/8 last time out in the forward gal. That's a really tough spot to be, going that 1 turn in the 7 furlong distance. So she was only beaten by 3/4 of a length in that race. She's better posted more towards the outside today. If there is any sort of pace, I think that she's one that can be certainly running late. I also used the number 3 Another Time, who does have Irad Ortiz aboard. And this horse, what I like, had a race down in Florida. It was in Tampa already, but I've seen in general these horses shipping down from Woodbine maybe need a race or two here in Florida to get acclimated to the weather. Like humans, I did it myself this morning. Coming from colder weather down to this warm weather can sometimes be a little bit of a shock on them physically. You see them maybe get a little bit warm. I'm not seeing this filly get warm on the track. In fact, I see really good muscle definition from her for trainer Barbara Minshall. And she was a $110,000 daughter of Munnings, and I thought it was a solid race last time out at Tampa that could be a good building block for her today. But they have Jaywalk to beat, your Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies winner, your Eclipse Award champion, and we'll see if this is, in fact, the kickstart to a fantastic 2019 for her, Greg.
Acacia, thank you. She is a superstar. The reigning 2-year-old champion filly, Jaywalk, makes her return in the Davona Dale. We'll have it for you live when we come back on Fox Sports Saturday at the races on Fox Sports 2.
The Fasig-Tipton Gulfstream Sale, offering selected 2-year-olds in training with a depth of quality that is unrivaled. Star graduates include Grade 1 winners Audible, Bellafina, Dream Tree, and 4-star Crook, plus exciting 3-year-olds like Maximus Mischief, Instagram, and Desmond.
We bought Grade 1 winner Bellafina at last year's Gulfstream sale. Where will you be?
Selected sales, superior results. The Fasig-Tipton Gulfstream Sale, March 27th in Hallandale Beach, Florida.
One of the things I like about Run Happy is he's one of the more athletic sires that I've seen. He's clearly passing that on to his offspring. He's really staying from the foals, and they're starting to look a lot like him.
Well, this horse comes from a great sire who was just so talented, and we've wanted to buy one ever since we started looking in November.
16.5, bargain bank $250,000. And then you add a sire like Run Happy, and then you put a physical on the ground like that baby, and you know, for us, it's a must-have.
Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
We're back on Fox Sports Saturday at the races, on the road to the Kentucky Derby, and in this race on the road to the Kentucky Oaks for 3-year-old fillies, the first Friday in May in our Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies champion, 2-year-old champion filly Jaywalk making her return. She is 1 to 5. Connection said they don't like the rail spot in this race, but she is quick. She's inside. We know she's going to go.
Yeah, I wouldn't look for Joelle to do anything but come away from there smooth. Her natural speed should put her on the lead. I wouldn't expect him to be taken back and taking any chances. He's going to let her run that first eighth of a mile away from there. If somebody's in front of her, they're probably going too fast.
Yeah.
She has come from off the pace before, just off of the pace to win. So not essential that she has the lead, but I wouldn't look for Joelle to be trying anything cute early on today.
Yeah, you make a great point there, as in the 2 Cookie Dough got left last time and really rushed up against a weaker field than what you're facing today. But those are the 2 fillies in here that are the fastest probably in here. And these other horses do show speed, but they're not the same kind of speed that Jaywalk has. I mean, this is a horse that's gone 109 and change at Belmont and kept going. These horses haven't even sniffed that. So as long as Joelle just doesn't get caught up in a crazy duel, he can even let maybe the 2 go, get outside the 2 or get outside somebody. But I think you make a great point, as in, like, if somebody wants to go with Jaywalk, they're committing their own suicide.
Yeah, and one interesting thing in here, look, they can all get beat on any given day. Bold Script coming in from Canada. She's been out there all winter long training. She's got some fantastic works at Palm Meadows, and she's never raced on dirt before, but she's by Speightstown out of Malibu Moon filly, and she's doing lights out right now, and she hasn't been off the board in 5 starts.
2-year-old champion filly, Jaywalk. She will break from post 1, trying to prove she is still the class of the division in her 3-year-old debut. Pete Aiello with a grade 2, Davona Dale from Gulfstream.
Off in the Davona Dale. It was a smooth beginning for Jaywalk, who's down toward the inside and challenging for control with Cookie Dough, who's right alongside. These 2 move ahead of Another Time, who's away racing in 3rd. Jeltrin splits horses, and Champagne Anyone's on the outside. Then back to the team of Bold Script and Another Time, and the trailer is High Regard. Out of the chute and onto the main course, Cookie Dough has the lead, but she also has inside position as Joelle Rosario angles Breeders' Cup winner Jaywalk to the 2 path. She'll flank the leader second behind a 24-1. Very reasonable opening quarter. Jeltrin is 3rd. They've gone 3 ahead of Champagne Anyone 4th. Outside 5th in High Regard, then Another Time, and the trailer is Bold Script. They make their way to the half-mile point, and it's the Sire Stakes champion Cookie Dough in front of the Breeders' Cup champion Jaywalk, who races from 2nd, Jeltrin a 3-wide 3rd, behind a 47-2 half-mile. Still 3 or 4 lengths back to Another Time, who improves inside of Champagne Anyone. High Regard has been wide every step of the journey, and Bold Script is last as they round the far turn. Cookie Dough comes under pressure to hold control. Jaywalk in between horses is now only a neck off the lead 2nd, Jeltrin 3-wide 3rd. Champagne Anyone will have to go 4-wide 4th at the rail, and Another Time from 5th. After 3 quarters and 112 flat, Jaywalk just lost ground to Cookie Dough. Cookie Dough still finding up front. She's 13-1, and Jaywalk is not finding. Jaywalk fails to fire here as Jeltrin now offers the challenge to Cookie Dough. Cookie Dough digging, Jeltrin surging. Jeltrin's 50-1. Cookie Dough tries to hold her off. These 2 photo finish. It's a huge photo in the Davona Dale, but Jaywalk's not involved in 136-4.
The champ gets beat. Not today for Jaywalk in her 3-year-old return to the races. Long shot. Jeltrin gets the job done in the grade 2 Davona Dale.
Hey, look, I can't give Jaywalk any excuse. Down the backside, Joelle got her to the outside of Cookie Dough, who was setting the pace and setting fairly leisurely fractions, but it didn't look as if Jaywalk was pulling hard and being rank and taking any energy away. She just came out empty at the 5/16 pole. So, like I said, they can all get beat on the day, but what an effort from Jeltrin to get up and steal it from Cookie Dough in the final stride.
50-1.
Yeah, and how about this? This is, you know, sometimes rags to riches. She debuted for $35,000. They raised her for $50,000. She gets the job done. And if you look, she's gotten better with each start. She was 63-1. She outran her odds in the start before that in the Glitter Woman. And then in the Forward Gal, she was 124-1, and she outran her odds. What was she today? 50-1, and she outran her odds again. She finally is going to get respect here pretty soon, now a grade 2 winner.
Well, you said it going into the starting gate, Gary. They can all get beat, and a 1-5 favorite, a champion, beat here in her 3-year-old debut. Not expected by any means, especially Jeltrin coming up with this kind of performance.
Look, and credit to the first and second place winners here. And you can see right here, Jaywalk coming under pressure from Joelle right now, and she's got no response. Joelle knows he's in trouble right now, and he probably knew it well before this. You start testing one a little bit about the 3/8 pole. 3 furlongs from home, and she probably wasn't giving him the right answers. That's when you just pray that some light switch is going to turn on, and today it didn't. And Cookie Dough running hard all the way to the wire. Jeltrin coming in, picking up the pieces late.
You know, I was going to check to see if there was any bridge jumpers in this race on Jaywalk. And when it comes to the pools, there was $292,000 to show on Jaywalk out of 348. And she finished 4th, so look for balloon show prices at Gulfstream.
Let's go to New York. The nightcap coming up. Let's go to Andy Serling.
Thanks, guys. Unfortunately, Jaywalk didn't have it, but nice race by the winner. One race left here at Aqueduct. The 1, 4, 5, and 9 are all covered in the pick 5, the Ira Betts late pick 5, that is. So that means that there's not likely to be a carryover, but if there is, it would be over $42,000. And we'll start the conversation with the 4, Planet Trailblazers, the favorite. I'm not sure he's supposed to be favored here. He has improved, and he's been in great form for Jason Service, but he's been beating up on weaker fields, and he is meeting tougher. What he does have is a running style that fits a track profile that's somewhat in discussion. He likes to make that run from around horses, but I think after we saw the last race, I think the track's a little fairer than maybe we thought it was a bit earlier. We'll see. He's in great form, and in some ways, he's the horse to beat. We'll see how the pace develops, because he wants a faster pace. Now, he can sit somewhat close, but it kind of changed when Outplay the 6 came out, because he had a lot of speed, and he was the one who was going to keep the major opponent for Planet Trailblazer Company on the front end, and that major opponent is It's All Relevant. It's All Relevant draws well on the outside. He's shown in recent races that he can stalk and win. One thing about trainer Linda Rice, not only does she do a great job all the time, but she's very good when she has horses in good form. And this horse, It's All Relevant, ran very well for her last time off the claim. But he, too, is facing some tougher horses today. But without the number 6 Outplay, he's probably going to be stalking the 3 Mimo in this race, and he'll look to take over in the turn. I think he's probably a little more likely to win than Planet Trailblazer, but they're very much the 2 logical horses. But I hate logic, so I've decided to go off the deep end a little bit. And I'm, by the way, thrilled to see Mottola back in the winner's circle at Oaklawn Park. I think he could be one of the top sprinters in the country this year. Love to see him down the road and expect to see him in New York at some point. The 1 Peters Projects is my upset player in this race. He has not run well in his last 2 starts, both since coming over here from Finger Lakes. And it's a major concern. I'm not in love with his chances, but as you can see, he's 8-1. He's a big price. He has run races that are good enough to win here, and I just feel like he's been way above his head in his last 2 starts, and he's finally in a race where at least the competition is a little bit more reasonable. So if he can get back to his better efforts, he has a chance to upset the field at close to 10-1, and that's good enough for me. Looking for a little bit of a price. I think of the 2 favorites, I prefer It's All Relevant, but both of these horses are going to be tough as we close it out at the Big A.
Well, both the 4 and the 9, the top 2 choices on the board, they're coming off dominant wins last time out. But for the 4 Planet Trailblazer, 3 consecutive victories. Jason Service, we know how dominant he is. And the horse that Planet Trailblazer beat last time out, H-Man, the horse actually came back and won for a higher tag last time out for $20,000.
Yeah, he did. H-Man, old Todd Pletcher horse. You know, it's really hard to gauge. He is getting better and better, but do you want to take that price with It's All Relevant, who ran a pretty good race? I don't know. These kind of races, they look so simple, and then they're sort of not. Maybe give the 5 a little bit of a look. I thought that race for the 5 was not that bad last time out, and Mitchell Friedman knows what he's doing.
That is zap, zap, zap. Second off the claim for Mitchell Friedman, the 5. Son of Ghost Zapper. Nightcap from New York. What will happen here? Seen some big prices so far in this Naira Betts late pick 5. How will it play out?
And they're off. It's All Relevant broke well. A Mimo now moves up. And Planet Trailblazer is in the mix in the early going as they race up the chute. It's Mimo to the front. It's All Relevant. Planet Trailblazer heads apart 2nd and 3rd, with Peters Project down on the inside and running in 4th. Then it's Drummer Don in 5th. Zap, Zap, Zap is alongside in 6th. They're followed by Borsavento and K. Voltaire, and Kenyon trails the field in 9th. The opening quarter in 24-1. Mimo leads here by 3/4 of a length. It's All Relevant runs in 2nd. Then down on the inside is Peters Project in 3rd. Planet Trailblazer is fourth, 3 lengths from the lead. It's another 4 lengths back to Drummer Don and K Voltaire. And then it's Zap, 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 Borsavento, and Kenyon. Half mile, 47 3/5 seconds. As they race around the far turn, Mimo challenged here by It's All Relevant. And now the two of them are right together midway on the turn. They've got 2 lengths on Planet Trailblazer in third. It's another 6. Back to Peter's Project in fourth. Then Drummer Don and Zap, Zap, Zap as they come for the head of the stretch. It's All Relevant has now taken the lead from Mimo. On the outside is Planet Trailblazer. 3/4 up in 1:13. It's All Relevant has the lead. It's All Relevant in front by 2.5 lengths. Planet Trailblazer in second, and Mimo is third. And then Peter's Project in fourth. It's All Relevant has a 4-length lead, and it will be It's All Relevant to win the nightcap. Planet Trailblazer was second. Mimo finished third, and Borsavento was fourth.
It's All Relevant. Leading trainer at the meet, Linda Rice, picks up another victory and back-to-back wins for this 6-year-old gelding.
And Dylan Davis aboard for both of those. 7 career lifetime wins out of 20 starts. Win machine and likes Aqueduct in the winter and wins in hand at the end.
I love the way Linda does this. You know, it gives the horse confidence by the drop for 8. It probably scares everybody away after claiming the horse for 16. Thinking, okay, let me try to get a win into this horse. Gives the horse confidence, and boom, right back to 12-5. Now they got their money back for the 16, and hopefully nobody else reaches in the claim box, because the way that he won today, he could win at this level again.
The art of playing the claiming game, and Linda Rice, got away with one last time out. We'll see if this horse remains in her barn, but back-to-back wins, even if the horse is gone. Got a couple of victories out of the Son of Hard Spun. 9-4-3 finish to close out the card at Aqueduct, and that 9 horse was one of the horses that would result in that Naira Betts late pick 5 getting hit.
Yeah, and it was, I think, $11,000 to the 4, almost $22,000 to the 9. So congratulations to somebody out there. Hopefully you're in the Naira family.
We'll have those payoffs coming up in just a little bit. Meanwhile, back in the Grade 2 Davona Dale, this was a shocker. 1-5 favorite, 2-year-old champion filly Jaywalk does not hit the board in her 3-year-old debut.
Wow, this is amazing. Jeltrin, congratulations to the connections here. Leonel Reyes, Alexis Delgado. This is daughter of Tabazar, a successful pale mare. Song to the Moon. And I'll tell you right now, the whole connection is going to be singing to the moon tonight.
Rider change, by the way, was Luis Saez on board Jeltrin. 50-1 for ADR Racing Stable, and standing by with winning trainer Alexis Delgado. Let's go to Acacia Courtney.
I'm here with winning trainer Alexis Delgado. Just tell me, how are you feeling right now?
Yeah, I'm happy. Thank you very much, Acacia. Happy life in my dream in stay in USA. Congratulations my stats on my bar. A good rider, Luis Saez. She feels is perfect running today.
She's such an incredible, she's a big filly. Tell me, when they're coming down the wire, what were you thinking?
Sí, yeah, the rider Luis Saez is before the speed, the pace, man. Because she's good. It's all good.
Great ride by Luis Saez, and congratulations to you. It was great seeing you come in the winner's circle.
Thank you very much.
Alexis Delgado, winner of the Davona Dale.
Well, nobody expected this. What a win for these connections, and for Jeltrin, whose only prior win was against Maiden Claiming Company, now a Grade 2 winner.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm in shock at the way Jaywalk ran today. Disappointing, but like I said, they can all get beat. And credit to the winner. Impressive, Jeltrin, Luis Saez.
Road to the Kentucky Derby continues next with the Fountain of Youth Stakes. 85 qualifying points up for grabs to the top 4 finishers. 50 points to the winner, which essentially makes this race a win and in for the Kentucky Derby the first Saturday in May. And we get to see the return of Hidden Scroll. Will he be anywhere near as brilliant as that debut that had the entire racing world talking and forced Bill Mott, Judd-Mott Farms to change their plans and dream of the Derby with this horse, with Hidden Scroll?
Well, the public's not shying away at all. The horse was by far the favorite in the doubles, is now your favorite at 6-5. The Bourbon War taking a lot of money. So is Global Campaign. So very, very good field. And I think Hidden Scroll is going to have his work cut out for him, but he could be the real deal.
Short price on a horse with just a maiden win, but it wasn't your ordinary maiden victory. It's one that forced everyone to take a look at those timers and say, did we just really witness that? We'll get back to the Fountain of Youth in a moment. We have a stakes race coming up in Hot Springs, Arkansas. The Spring Fever, 5.5 furlongs is next, and Amy's Challenge scored a mild upset last time out in the American Beauty. She was dominant, won by more than 5 lengths, beating Vertical Oak, who was 4-5 in that race. Vertical Oak did not fire that day.
No, not one bit, and that's not like Vertical Oak. She's the kind of horse that's a win machine, 9 for 21 lifetime. So that last race was a little confusing.
Here's our post break. We start with treble for Ron Moquette, and had back-to-back wins at this track back in April of last year.
Yeah, behind a couple of these last time, but that was off a layoff, so she could be fitter today.
Alex's Bourbon. She's been first or second in 10 of 13 tries.
She went to Sam Houston, got the job done, and she was just behind Shanghai Tariff last time.
Speaking of Shanghai Tariff, she is quick. She comes in off back-to-back wins for James DeVito.
Yeah, she's quick, she's sharp, and she likes this racetrack. 4 for 7 over it.
Amy's Challenge, big score in the American Beauty. She set a stakes record in that victory.
Yeah, Alex Concheri will be aboard, and she was dynamite, but is she going to bounce from that effort? Because that was her best effort of her career.
Proper Discretion. She has won 13 times. He was no match for Amy's Challenge last start, though.
Orlando Mojica had a big win on our show last week at a long shot price. This one will be another long shotter.
Another Ron Moquette runner, the 7, Swing and Sway. She brings some more pace to the party.
Yeah, she does. She's fast. And another horse is for course, 4 for 8 over the Oaklawn Strip.
And Vertical Oak, she was the 4-5 favorite in that American Beauty. She's usually super consistent. She just didn't have it that day.
Well, I'm willing to draw a line through it, and that's what you have to do. It's called gambling, so you got to draw a line through it, because if she brings her A effort, she can win this race. The worry is she has not hit the exacta at Oaklawn in 4 starts.
She is 7-2 on the board. Let's check in with Nancy Holthus.
Who do I toss to? All right, Amy's Challenge is here in the feature. The 31st running of the Spring Fever, the prep for the Carousel the first weekend in April. Amy's Challenge possibly could be uncontested, as she had set some lightning quick fractions in the American Beauty last out. When racing off the minor break, she drew away in the stretch, scoring nearly by 6, and that was also her first time taking on older runners, and she does get a pretty experienced group here today. Now, no one has really tested her before, but one that could test her from the bell is Shanghai Tariff, who breaks just to her inside. But one of those experienced mares is the number 8 Vertical Oak, trained by Steve Asmussen, the accomplished runner in the field. She is a multiple graded stakes winner. She hasn't really fared very well over the Oaklawn surface in those prior starts. We'll see if she can do it today, but she might benefit from a speed meltdown set on the front end. Greg?
Nancy brings up a good point. Maybe just a surface that Vertical Oak, breaking out of post 8, may not prefer in here. It's interesting, Ricardo Santana Jr., leading rider at Oaklawn, has been the regular pilot for Vertical Oak. He actually was going to be aboard Sister Nation, another horse for Steve Asmussen. She, of course, scratched, but interesting that he wound up there over Vertical Oak.
Yeah, it really is interesting. And touching back on Amy's Challenge, last winter, her 3-year-old season there, she started out with a win. And it was a gutting race for her. I mean, she braved it out, set extremely fast fractions that day, 21-2, exactly the same split that she set in her first race back this year at Oaklawn Park. I was fortunate enough to climb on her back for the 8 bells. Unfortunately, I think that they were trying to get her to stretch out. They ran her in the fantasy. They ran her long twice, and she doesn't want anything to do with running long. At least she didn't at that point in time last year. She had 3 hard races there. She kind of lost her way, and Mac gave her some time off. They came back, did the right thing. And look, she might bounce a little bit today. It was the best effort of her career, but I wouldn't look for her to. It looks like she's matured a lot. She's had a month in between races now. That should be plenty of time. And when they win by 5, it can look like they won easy and still guts them a little bit, but I got a feeling she won with a little something left the other day.
And, Paul, she has, as Nancy mentioned, speed inside of her, speed outside of her, but if she could put up the fraction she did in the American Beauty win, she might be alone in the lead.
Yeah, it's true. Listen, you look at her her workouts, she's a morning glory. I mean, she likes the dirt, and she's bred for the turf. In her lone turf start, she was dynamite. I would think down the road, she'll probably end up on the turf when she gets a little bit older if they want to, but she's putting up dynamic numbers on the dirt. And she is very fast. I just think Vertical Oak, you know, she's thrown in one other clunker, and that was a TCA, and she came back, and she lost the swing and sway. That was off a layoff. You know, for me, if something went really bad, Asmussen probably would have laid her up. I just think that she just threw in a clunker, didn't want to run last time. I think she's going to make a good account of herself today, but she's got to beat a quality horse in Amy's Challenge and a sharp horse who we're forgetting about in Shanghai Tariff before.
Vertical Oak, she's going to break from the outside post. In that 8 slot, she had been super consistent. Had won actually 3 or 4 starts coming into that American Beauty when she was 4-5 and just did not fire. She wound up speeding one horse home. She seems like she's just too good to have that repeat itself today.
Yeah, I think so. You know, talking about Shanghai Tariff just inside, Jim DeVito has won twice with her at Oaklawn Park here. This filly, though, when she faced California speed, it was different speed for an Amy's Challenge. She's got California speed. Trust me, I sat on her back, and she is fast. So let's watch and learn.
Amy's Challenge from post 5, looking to go back-to-back with stakes victories here at Oaklawn. Vic Stauffer with the Spring Fever from Oaklawn.
They're off. Shanghai Tariff and Amy's Challenge both broke well. Vertical Oak was hard sent. Swing and Sway passes her. Then Proper Discretion and Treble, and the early trailer is Alex's Bourbon. Match racing into the far turn, Shanghai Tariff and Amy's Challenge. These two have opened up 3 lengths on Vertical Oak and Swing and Sway. Treble is at the rail, fifth with 4 lengths to make up. Proper Discretion outside of her. Alex's Bourbon is the trailer as they round the far turn in the 31st Spring Fever, Shanghai Tariff and Amy's Challenge. They have traded punches since they sprung the latch. Amy's Challenge now inches to a short lead, and now it's a full length at the quarter pole as she race rode. Shanghai Tariff at the top of the stretch. Amy's Challenge now struts her stuff. She is 2.5 lengths in front of Shanghai Tariff in second. Treble has moved nicely up into third, but it's Amy's Challenge to the 16th pole, and now she's just running up the score. Amy's Challenge 6 in front. Shanghai Tariff and Treble. Amy's Challenge to win. And win big she did. It was 9 lengths at the wire. Shanghai Tariff was second. Maybe Alex's Bourbon in the last stride over Treble for third.
Well, Amy's Challenge answered the question if there would be any bounce off that career best effort last time out. No.
This filly, she just likes to rip. I mean, I had the chance to work her one time before I rode her in the 8 bells, and it was sort of uncontrolled speed that morning when I did breeze her. And I mean, she ran flat out today for 6 furlongs and showed no signs of slowing down. Buried Shanghai Tariff at the 5/16 pole. She'd had all she wanted, and nobody wanted any part of Amy's Challenge today.
I'll tell you right now, she's scary, and I'll tell you what, she could be better on turf. You look at her turf race, she did it in hand. That was pretty impressive. Wow.
Back in New York, the nightcap and Aqueduct, it's all relevance. Back-to-back wins now for trainer Linda Rice. Dylan Davis aboard for the winning ride.
Yeah, congratulations to Linda. Hard spun out of AP Indy mare Ender's sister. Listen, and this is a tremendous pedigree. They never thought this horse would be in for 12.5, and now she's 7, or he is 7 for 20 lifetime. And there you go. You have a pick 6 carryover. Don't forget about that. And listen, we tell it to you all the time. It's the best bet in racing. You got to download your Naira app right now, because you can only play it through that, and look what you get, $21,000 if you were able to get those numbers. And if you did, that's pretty darn good handicapping.
Yeah, congrats. You certainly earned every penny of that if you were able to come up with that Naira Bets Late Pick 5. Our main event as we continue down the road to the Kentucky Derby, the Grade 2. Fountain of Youth at 1 1/16, 85 points on the line to get into that starting gate for the Kentucky Derby to the top 4 finishers as we begin our post-parade. And here is Code of Honor for Shug McGahee.
Yeah, Shug saying that he's taking it a little lightly on this horse, but now he's turning the screws and he's got him ready, 7-1.
Epic Dreamer for Kelly Breen, speedster who was fourth, set the pace in the Holy Bull.
Son of the 2013 Kentucky Derby winner, or will bring some speed to the party, but he really needs to step it up today.
And talk about bringing speed to the party. Gladiator King Longshot comes out of a turf sprint.
Oh, 202 to 1, 2 out, and currently 99 to 1.
Mark Hennig sends out Bourbon War.
This is the horse that's been the morning horse, getting a lot of play, 10 to 1 down the 9 to 2 morning line.
Two-turn debut for Vekoma.
I like Vekoma. To debut Lasix, not the prettiest mover, but he tries.
Kentucky Jockey Club winner Signal Man for Kenny McPeak, 3-year-old debut.
Don't look for him early, look for him late. He's got a big closing kick.
The horse everyone is talking about after that brilliant debut, Hidden Scroll.
Shining like a copper penny out there. Is he the real deal or not? We'll find out today.
Global Campaign at 5 to 1 for Stanley Huff.
I thought two very good races, very professional, and also is getting money at the table, or at least at the windows at 5 to 1.
Everfast was second in the Holy Bull at 128 to 1.
And a good second. I thought it was altered a little bit and not getting any respect again today.
Frosted Grace sent out by Kathy Ridfo in the 11 Union's Destiny, a rider change on here at 73 to 1. We have their Emisale Jaramillo, I believe, is the rider change, who will be on the Son of Union Rags.
Yeah, 99 to 1 and 73 to 1, and both of these colts really need to improve.
So here is the runner everyone is talking about, Hidden Scroll. 104 Beyer in his debut. He won by 14 lengths on a sloppy racetrack. Can he handle the fast going? Can he handle Graded Stakes Company? Start number 2 for the Buzz Horse on the Derby Trail is coming up next.
The Fasig-Tipton Gulfstream Sale, offering selected 2-year-olds in training with a depth of quality that is unrivaled. Star graduates include Grade 1 winners Audible, Bella Fina, Dream Tree, and 4-star Crook, plus exciting 3-year-olds like Maximus Mischief, Instagram, and Desmond.
We bought Grade 1 winner Bella Fina at last year's Gulfstream Sale. Where will you be?
Selected sales, superior results. The Fasig-Tipton Gulfstream Sale, March 27th in Hallandale Beach, Florida.
Lakerville, the blistering fast, stakes-winning star by unusual heat, is now a leading freshman sire in California. After a career of 5 wins and 4 placings in just 11 starts, his progeny are delivering, with 3 winners from just 6 starters, including Lakerball, who posted back-to-back stakes wins at 2 tracks in open company in just 3 weeks.
Lakerville is a rising star in the California breeding shed. His first crop are very precocious and show exceptional speed.
Lakerville, standing at Harris Farms, it pays to be Cal-bred.
It's America's original sport, and no one covers it better than americasbestracing.net. From the sport to the lifestyle, the best races, horses, and destination venues, cocktails, gambling, fashion, and more. americasbestracing.net is a sport for you. Live it, love it, bet it.
We're back on Fox Sports Saturday at the races here on Fox Sports 2. It's brought to you in part by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. Want to remind everyone, get signed up, started. Join Naira Bets. Bet 200. You'll get 200 when you use the promo code LIVE at sign up. Or download the Naira Bets app or go to nairabets.com. Our main event down the road to the Kentucky Derby, Grade 2, Fountain of Youth. As we take a look at Bourbon War for Mark Hennig, the son of Tappet, who is a Wood Memorial winner. Of course, all the talk, though, in this race is about the now 4-5 favorite, Hidden Scroll, and his brilliant debut effort, which he won in 134 and 82 100ths. 5 races later, Aztec Sense would win a Grade 3, the Fred Hooper, in slower time.
What do you think into this, Gary?
I think it's a really good horse. And he, and look, the Grade 3 race, that horse he had pressure, which is supposed to make him run faster.
Yeah.
You know, they were run at 2 different times of the day, and
track could have slowed down.
It could have slowed down. It very possibly did slow down because there was a lot of moisture on the track. It was a sealed fast track when Hidden Scroll won earlier in the day, and you got to think that it slowed down a little bit, but still, first-time starter out of the 1-hole, running faster than what they ran the graded race that day. You don't see that too often time-wise.
Ran what equals to about 7 or 8 lengths better than what that Grade 3 winner did. Let's go to Acacia Courtney.
Thanks, Greg. Yes, Hidden Scroll has a lot to prove today. Definitely has earned his fair share of fans after that super impressive maiden win on a wet track. Now, I did get a chance to look at him in person at Payson Park the other day when he had his last work in company with his stablemate Tacitus, who he far outworked that day. And Tacitus is a good horse. Bill Mott told me he's pointing to the Tampa Bay Derby, and he was absolutely no match for Hidden Scroll. It was a very fast track up at Payson on that day. Also got a chance to look at him in the stall, and then seeing him again here in the walking ring today at Gulfstream. This horse has a great mind on him, and that's what I like about him. He does have a kind of smaller feet. He looks like the type of horse that could be able to skip over a wet track, but given the way I've seen him train on a fast track, that's what led me to be one of those people that jumped on the Hidden Scroll bandwagon. I still think he has to run his best race today. He has some good competition to run against this afternoon, but he handled himself beautifully. Lovely movement quality on track. Looking at a couple of others, though, the number 4, Bourbon War, I think he's one that's going to be running late. He has a win over this surface and at this distance for Mark Hennig. He handled himself absolutely beautifully. Vacoma's 2 for 2. I thought he ran a huge race last time out in the Nashua. The question for me is the distance. Looking at him physically, I do wonder if he's going to be able to go quite this far, going the 2 turns and off of a bit of a layoff. He's got a good conditioner in his corner with George Weaver, but again, he's got some questions for me, and so I did land with Hidden Scroll and Bourbon War. Those are the top 2 for me. Even a little bit of Global Campaign, who's a little bit of the local horse, and we saw some local flavor with Jeltrin already getting the win. In my estimation, I think it's a very competitive Fountain of Youth. Greg, let's see if Hidden Scroll lives up to the hype.
Acacia, thank you. And again, at the beginning of the show, we talked about this, Gary, a little bit. Bill Mott, such a patient trainer, Hall of Famer, is never going to rush a horse. But he said this horse, with his performance in his debut, really left them no choice but to take this path.
Hey, I've studied Billy Mott for over 30 years, and the job he does with specific kind of horses. This is not a Billy Mott move. He wanted to see how he came out of that first race. Was huge, and a lot of horses won't react to it favorably. It'll blow their mind a little bit. They need some extra time. Billy said he came out of that perfect. And while Acacia was talking over a shot of Hidden Scroll, stood there on the racetrack and looking like a horse that was stood out on the range. He wasn't fired up. There he is getting ready to go into the gate right now. But you don't see that with a second-time starter. I don't care where it's at in front of a crowd that he's facing today, second time out. Joel warmed him up by himself, and, you know, it could be something very special.
Orb used this race back in 2013 to go on and win the Kentucky Derby. Can Hidden Scroll as well? He's the now horse on the Derby trail after a jaw-dropping debut. Can he back up the hype in the Grade 2 Fountain of Youth in his graded stakes debut for Hall of Fame trainer Bill Mott in really the one race that has eluded a career in which he has won just about everything? The road to the Derby continues right here on Fox Sports Saturday at the races, and essentially win and you're in for the winner of the Fountain of Youth. Pete Aiello with the call. Hidden Scroll from post 7, the horse to beat.
Union's Destiny and Misael Jaramillo to the outside. They're in the gate. And they're off in the ExpressBet.com Fountain of Youth. Great start for Gladiator King, and on the stretch out, he's quick into stride and drops over to the rail to lead the way. Now, Hidden Scroll, the big favorite, got a good start as well, and he's marching right on with it here. Hidden Scroll now a neck on top. Away third is Global Campaign. Code of Honor is at the rail, followed by Vicoma, then Epic Dreamer. Everfast is a bit wide with Signalman between horses, and Bourbon War along the rail. Union's Destiny 4 wide at the back of the field. Frosted Grace is last, and Hidden Scroll is first. Hidden Scroll and Joel Rosario aggressive in the early stages. They lead the race by a half a length. Big long shot Gladiator King is there second, 2.5 clear of Global Campaign third, and the opening quarter was Racehorse Time, 22-4. These top 3 have a 4-length break on Vicoma, who's racing from fourth, then Code of Honor and Epic Dreamer. At the inside in Bourbon War, a length better than Signalman. Everfast is on his outside, and outside of them is Union's Destiny. The trailer remains Frosted Grace, and the leader remains Hidden Scroll. 45-3 for the opening half mile, and Hidden Scroll like his debut, is paving a quick path, and he leads the way by a length. Global Campaign is now the nearest pursuer second. Vekoma is now third. Code of Honor is fourth. They've both had pace to chase. From fifth, an Epic Dreamer. Then Signal Man. He's underway with traffic to make up as they run to the top of the stretch. Hidden Scroll puts away Global Campaign. Now he has to deal with Vekoma, and on the inside, Code of Honor. And Code of Honor means business. He's into the clear and challenging the favorite as they turn for home. Less than a quarter of a mile to go in the Fountain of Youth. Hidden Scroll digs deep, but Code of Honor blows past, and Code of Honor is on to the front. Hidden Scroll trying to hold on to second. Here's Bourbon War unleashing a big run down the center, but Code of Honor is going to hang on to win the Fountain of Youth 3 parts of a length over a flying Bourbon War second. Vekoma's in a picture for third with Hidden Scroll in 1:43 and 4.
Code of Honor for Shug McGahee, son of Noble Mission. Shug took the blame for his defeat in his 3-year-old return to the races. This went exactly as he wanted, I'm sure.
Exactly, yeah. He said he was going to sit back, he thought there was going to be plenty of speed, which there was. They were setting extremely fast fractions for this distance today, and Code of Honor and Johnny Velasquez sitting back there saving all the ground. You can see how covered dirt he is. I'll tell you who else ran huge is Bourbon War. He was making up so much ground here late in the race as Code of Honor. Does he want to go much further than that? We'll find out later, but Shuggy, he called it, started training him a little bit harder. He said he responded the right way, and he responded by taking Shug straight to the winner's circle.
You know, when they were in tandem, the 1 and the 5, Vekoma was making the move, and I looked at you and I said, who's the horse inside the 5? Now, Manuel Franco on the turn, he hit the 5 left-handed and turned him sideways and got actually a little bit extra out of him. Vekoma was trying hard and got up for third. But Code of Honor was just traveling so well. And don't take anything away from Bourbon War, like you said, because Bourbon War was starting to really lower that head down and sort of like hover a little bit. But you can see right here, watch Manuel Franco hit the 5 left hand, and boom, he sort of like took off a little bit. But as soon as the 1 got underneath, you know, they squeezed that horse out of there, but that horse is dead. And then right here, off heels a tiny bit, but nothing there, as Code of Honor is just going to go on by because the 5 Vekoma is just getting tired.
Yeah, they ran by the 8 horse so fast he didn't have time to get shut off. And you know what? Don't be too disappointed in Hidden Scroll. Set some extremely fast fractions. First time going long. I'm sure that Billy's going to regroup now. He already said that. Hey, we got to give it a try, and if it doesn't work out today, then we'll regroup and find another direction to go with. And maybe he's a Preakness horse, maybe he's still a Derby horse, but you know, he did wilt late, but 2 turns, a whole different deal than that 1-turn mile.
45 and 3 to the half.
I thought he ran good to hang in there. Listen, like, the hardest thing to do in racing, and Gary will tell you this, to go from a maiden special weight to winners. Now you're going from a maiden special weight to a grade 2. It's tough to do. I thought the horse actually ran pretty well.
Least experienced runner in this field. He certainly got an education in his second start. But the win goes to Code of Honor, Shug McGahee, Will Farish, and John Velasquez. Let's go to Acacia Courtney.
Thank you, Greg. Yes, I'm standing here with Shug McGahee. What about that? Tell me what you thought about that performance.
Well, I mean, you know, it kind of went the way we would hope we would script it. You know, I had the 1 pole, save some ground, be patient. He left there running today. I was sitting there with my wife. I said, you know, he left there running. What that means, I don't know. But Johnny did a good job of being patient with him, and, you know, we're really pleased.
Now, he's definitely had a few hiccups along the way. What does it mean to get this win with this horse?
Well, it means a lot. Because, like you say, he's been a kind of a Jekyll and Mr. Hyde sort of horse. You know, he started out good. You know, Champagne was good. Then he got sick and all that kind of stuff. And today it all sort of came to fruition. So we're pleased.
I know it's early, but what would you imagine would be the path now to the Kentucky Derby with him?
Well, you know, I mean, obviously we're here, so the Florida Derby would be our first pick. We'll just see how we got to come out of it and go from there.
Well, Shug, thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's Shug McGahee, trainer of Code of Honor, the impressive winner of the Fountain of Youth.
Got to be a good feeling to know you're already qualified. 50 points. He's in that starting gate for the Kentucky Derby, but you would think, yeah, stay in Florida. That would be the path.
Yeah, and he got an education today, and he did get a clean break, as Shug said. And I was looking at him as he was circling in front of the winner's circle there. He only had dirt on one side of him, on the right side of him. You know what that means? He never came off the inside fence until he circled him coming into the stretch. Yeah. So he took all that dirt the entire trip. swung out and made a nice run the last eighth of a mile, and pretty impressive run by Bourbon War as well, that final quarter of a mile.
Yeah, and I think what Shug was referring to is the last few times he had run, he's broken dead last. But it wasn't like he broke bad. He just broke flat-footed. And when he says he finally got running away from there and got interested early and put himself in a position, and when you can finish like that, you know Shug's going to have him fit, and you know they're going to finish under his care. And he ran well today, and another double-digit winner, $21.
And still, let's look, it's just the second start of Hidden Scroll's career as well. We see Code of Honor come back as a 3-year-old. He had more foundation than Hidden Scroll did, and he puts forth this kind of performance. You think it's going to be a long debate what they do next with this horse?
No, I don't think so at all. You know, Prince Khalid Abdullah, he always works with the trainers pretty well. He wants to see these horses develop as well. And Billy Mott, he'll go back to the drawing board. He knows that he probably went too quick, too early. That wasn't Joel's fault. It wasn't anybody's fault. You got a short run into that first turn at Gulfstream Park. You got to pop him on the shoulder, get him away from their running. So you're sending the horse two different signals, running into the first turn, then taking a hold of him, trying to slow him down. Sometimes that doesn't register real well with the horse. It's only his second start of their life.
Well, we asked you earlier at America's Best Racing, where do you think this year's Kentucky Derby winner will come from? And 49% of the vote believing the West Coast. Of course, Bob Baffert, as usual, is stacked. He's won 2 Triple Crowns the last 4 years. Yeah. Not bad. He has 2 undefeated runners going head-to-head next week at the San Felipe. He's also got Mucho Gusto. Oh, and now he has another contender in Roadster, who came back and won impressively yesterday at a mile to pick up the second win of his career.
Yeah, Mike Smith never raises the whip here, and Roadster, he had missed some workouts, so I don't think Bob really expected to see this yesterday. He was kind of, he was overwhelmed. They interviewed him after the race, and he just said that was sick. Yeah. That was sick, in a good way.
This is the horse that everybody was talking about in the summer before we knew what Game Winner was, before we knew what Improbable was.
Well, here's what Bob doesn't get credit for, the beat that he has on his horses are ridiculous. I told him I loved American Anthem. He goes, you better like Arrowgate. I told him I liked Coliseum. He goes, you better like Roadster. Coliseum's got issues. Like, it's unbelievable how much of a beat he has on his horses as you see the cross-country pick 5 follow along. Like I said, it was going to be a little bit choppy. Hopefully you can get that price in race 9, like I said, and get some value. But this Roadster, he might finally have turned the corner and might have matured.
Yeah, it's in the books, by the way. We didn't have Mottola on there, of course. Yeah. Amy's Challenge wins the final leg of that sequence. But Amy's Challenge back in the Spring Fever, very impressive. She's won back-to-back starts now.
Yeah, that was nice. And getting back to Roadster, I don't know how far he wants to go.
That's true, too, yeah.
It might be a Preakness horse.
Ooh, that's actually a good call.
Could be. Son of
Unless
Quality
Bob wants
Road.
To run like 4 in the Derby or so.
Could be.
Are we in the books here? Is that our show?
Yes.
Think so.
We got 4 Kentucky Derby preps coming up next week on our show, including the San Felipe from out at Santa Anita. Speaking of Bob Baffert, Game Winner, your Breeders' Cup Juvenile winner, going against Improbable, his stablemate, 2 undefeated runners, as Bob Baffert looks for a 6th Kentucky Derby. That is coming up next Saturday on Fox Sports Saturday at the races. Hope you enjoy it, and hope you enjoyed our show this afternoon. It was a day of upsets all afternoon long. 2-year-old champion filly Jaywalk defeated in her return to the races in the Grade 2 Davona Dale. And not today for Hidden Scroll. Code of Honor for Shug McGahee. Gonna get another Derby. We'll see you next Saturday.
I was hoping when we entered this horse in the sale that I would come up here and be in My Name's Happy and have the first run happy that hit it out of the park. We're ecstatic about it.
He's just a natural athlete. He's got length. He's got good substance to him. He's very correct. He's got a very free, effortless walk. Very intelligent, good mind. This is the horse we brought here to make a sound.
Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm. An undefeated graded stakes winner on the track, Algorithms was the nation's #1 sire of 2-year-olds in 2017 by percentage of winners. His top runners include Rich Mommy, winner of the Grade 3 Sugar Swirl, multiple stakes winner and graded stakes performer Recruiting Ready, Stakes winner and graded stakes performer Vanish, and recent stakes winners Taylor Spirit and Tracy Racing. In the ring, his 2-year-olds have brought prices up to $300,000. Algorithms, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Back, Woody, $1,900,000.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit NairaBets.com. Sign up now for a $200 new member bonus with promo code LIVE at NairaBets.com.